leaps and bounds. Folks around my way think I'm strange, but there's a villain to blame. Even my mom, she thinks I'm crazy, but I got to rescue Daisy.
How's it going, everybody? Happy New Year, and welcome to episode 52 of the Ready Game Fire podcast. My name is Chris Fox, and with me today are... It's his third time on the podcast, but don't worry, I'm sure it won't be samey. Please put your hands together. And welcome back, Aaron Caney.
Hello.
Woo! How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Brilliant. So, to get like quicker responses from you on today's podcast, do we need to like put you into Aaron Prime mode? Or he works at Amazon, everybody.
Oh god.
That's right.
Thanks.
He works at
Aaron Prime. I haven't signed up to Amazon Prime yet.
You should.
I feel like I should. I
Get
feel
a free
like
month.
It saves your life.
yeah, I like Amazon.
Well said, Mike. Brilliant.
It's a controversial stance to take, I know, but I think they do a bloody good job.
Also in the room, he's half Kiwi, half English, and all Steve. It's Stephen Edwards.
Hello, how's it going? I'm trying to be more start here.
Well, that was...
I got a lot of... You guys give me a bit of stick for starting quite slow, so I thought but it hasn't really worked.
And finally, you've heard his voice already, and there are 3 ways to do things. The right way, the wrong way, and the Mike Power way.
Isn't that the wrong way?
Yes, it is, Steve, but faster. It's Mike Power.
Sold!
Ooh, sold. Now, what's he talking about there? Well, basically, he's talking about today's theme of the day.
Is the letter sold?
He's talking about today's hot topic, which is a fake, that's right, it's not real, don't panic, it's a fake auction of Nintendo's IP as if they'd closed down, like what happened to THQ, God rest their souls. This wonderful idea was Mike's idea, wasn't it, Mike? So
Yeah, it was a while ago, though. I think I've been a bit worried that people think we're jumping on the pummel Nintendo train.
No, because we all like Nintendo games, don't we?
We do love it.
Today we're going to be talking about our favourite Nintendo IPs and if they had to be pried out of the hands of Shigsy and EAD. If Nintendo did shut their doors forever and their IP was auctioned off to other developers and publishers, who would they go to and who would do a good job with them, etc. We're going to talk about that today. That's all we're going to talk about. Before I continue, if you like what we do and you like what you hear, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes if you hadn't already. If you're not an Apple user, you can also check out all of our podcasts on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and comment to us over there. If you want to get in touch with us, tweet us or get us on Facebook. It's Ready Game Fire on both of those. And the email address is contact@readygamefire.co.uk. Thanks very much. Aaron, we've not seen you on the podcast.
No.
Well, we've not seen you on the podcast at any point, it being audio only. But we've not heard you on the podcast since last February it was, for the Metroid episode.
Yeah.
What have you been playing since then?
Wow.
So I've replayed Donkey Kong Country Returns and
Holy moly.
anticipation for the new one in February.
Today,
Tropical freeze.
For Freeze? I can't wait for Freeze.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't
Just
wait.
like the last one was.
Exactly. Yeah.
Steve's going to be playing Donkey Kong Country Returns again, aren't you?
So yeah, quickly before Nintendo closed down and we do this auction, buy Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Quickly.
It's really good.
And it'll be worth
It
loads
might-
when they do close.
It might save them. We might not have to do this auction at all.
It was good.
I can't wait for Freeze. I got both new next-gen consoles. I'm a very lucky boy. I think I like Mario 3D World the best out of all the games I've been playing over this Christmas period, though.
I want to get it. It doesn't have online, though, does it? We decided.
We
That would have been
we decided it wasn't cost-effective, so
Yeah,
they didn't
we
put it
just-
on.
That would have been awesome.
It would be,
That would have been a seller for me.
but you are expecting Nintendo to sort of understand online. They don't.
That's why they're going out of business.
So
For only a little bit longer.
Wii U,
Yeah.
Woo!
Sweet.
Yeah.
On my
I
own.
haven't done-
Wow, we've got 3 Wii U owners at a table.
That's never happened before.
No.
Ever, anywhere. We've been playing Mario 3D World. And by that I mean me, Steve, Mike, and Aaron's been playing it separately by himself.
We've been texting each other as we played, haven't we?
I played it with 4 people.
Nice.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
Sorry, who are these people?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're playing it without you, but
Flat
you.
Yeah.
mates.
Well, that's rude, isn't it?
This is the first I've
It's
heard
a
of
bit
this.
mad.
I'm trying to get more people to play the Wii U. You see.
Imagine if you could do.
Experience
Imagine if
the
you could do
goodness.
4-on-4. Don't know how that would work, but imagine.
What term have we got for Mike when we play Mario 3D World, Steve? What is he?
He's the star hanger.
Yeah. You know, like your
Just-
mates at school, Aaron, who hanging around the goal,
Yeah.
and they get a lot of
You
goals.
get the crown a lot.
I get the crown.
Mine just,
Yeah.
Ever in those rooms where you got like kill a lot of enemies, and then you get a start at the end. Michael's will be hanging around the middle to back area, knowing.
think
And
so.
I didn't even notice
I
this.
think so.
Lurker.
I
I
didn't
think
notice
so.
this until Steve pointed it out because I'm off killing the enemies.
No, I do a lot of killing.
No,
Start.
you do a lot of picking us up and throwing us up.
Oh, so fun.
That's ridiculous. No, but I said that I had to say to Mike, I had to pause it and go, oh, we all like a bit of fun. We're having a great time here. You're doing it too much and we're out of lives. And don't you think if you do things too much, it's not funny anymore? And he's like, no, it's
Yeah,
great
it's so
fun.
funny.
He's the only one who's laughing.
Oh, great game, that Mario.
Yeah, and in
So
the
good.
single player levels, like the Captain Toad levels, it's amazing how when you take sort of control away from three of the people playing Mario, and then one person's doing Captain Toad, and everyone's like, yeah, left a bit, yeah, hang back a bit, start, the Goomba, and someone else going, yeah, thing about Goombas is what you got to remember with Goombas is, and then the other go left. So you've got like 4 Mario backseat Marioing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
The Miiverse works so friggin' well, and like just like the whole gamepad thing, Sony and Microsoft have just sort of nicked the Miiverse, and it doesn't do as well over there. But is it selling more Wii U consoles?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was really cool actually. You delved into like people's profiles.
Yeah,
and you
we started making a lot
There's
of
a little
posts.
community going on there. A lot more interaction.
Well, you can't even like or reshare or anything like that on Xbox. What can you do on the PS4?
The only thing you can do is like.
You can like
But
stuff.
it doesn't tell you when. But does it tell you on?
No.
If someone years you,
it-
it doesn't
it-
tell you you've been yeared.
it's-
So that's something.
No. You do tell.
someone stole.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you get yared, you get.
Facebook stole that from them, didn't they?
Yeah, he did.
Facebook
Yes.
took years and changed them into likes.
Yeah, and unyered.
Yeah, it's so cute. I love
Unyered.
it. It's so cute.
Yeah, one day, and when I'm bored, and I'm gonna have to be very bored, but I'm gonna every post Sonny has
Yeah,
posted.
I'd say just as soon as.
Yeah,
skill.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to do that the other day.
But yeah, so you can. Oh shit, I'm saying it again.
Over year.
But on PS4, yeah, like Mike was saying, you can like stuff, but. If someone likes something that you've done, you don't get notified.
yeah.
It's not really finished. But yeah, if you
Well,
get
you-
yared, you do get you get a notification.
cool.
3 people have yared your yeah.
If you're very lucky,
Yeah.
if you're very lucky on
Yeah.
PlayStation, you go to someone's activity, you might be able to press the button that takes you through to the game on the store. Brilliant. Oh, capitalism.
So here's a feature that Steve and I have been tossing around as a potential idea: Simpsons gamer tags.
It's in the early
It's not going to make it out of early stages, Steve. It's not a good feature. I knew it wouldn't
I
be.
don't get it.
Oh, I
Name,
don't
you know, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
Don't blame
Homer
me.
23.
Chris is the one in his text who said potential feature? Question mark.
Well, every time Steve and I are big Simpsons fans.
Every
Obviously up to season 10 sharp. And every time we watch Simpsons, it's like, oh, there's so many moments where you're like, that's a great gamer tag. Like when Millhouse
Oh, I
plays
see.
Bone Storm and he's like, put his name in his Thrill House. You see them, you play online, you'll see them crop up like everywhere.
No, but-
Like Bartman.
But here's today's great Simpsons gamer tag, Admiral Baby.
Emerald Baby.
Tune in next time for more Simpsons.
Me and Kai have agreed the greatest. Anyone that's got Captain Wacky deserves some kind of medal.
It's
That
not-
is the best possible.
It's not the one you brought up the other day.
Well, Hoju.
Hoju.
Do you want to change your name to Homer Jr.?
Kids-
The kids can call you Hoju.
Well, the best gamer tag has got to be Bog Weasel.
Yeah.
Fen Weasel. I mean Bog Weasel.
Fenweasel.
Well, that's what Fen means, bog dweller. So
Oh.
Inevitably, when Journey comes to PS Vita, do you reckon you'll play again and try and find Bog Weasel once more?
I think it will just happen. It's
Yeah, I
destiny.
think it would. That'd be great. Oh my god.
did he win best character?
Second runner-up.
It's a shame.
Really?
Yeah,
Dallimore probably.
I
won.
messaged him.
Did you?
Yeah, I found him and I messaged him
I did too.
and I said, you probably already heard the Radio Game Fire podcast, but if you haven't, we've mentioned you and you're up for an award. Bye.
That's mate. You're up for an
Yeah, I
award.
Yeah, I messaged him and said, "Well done, you're the runner-up winner of Best Character of the Year of RGF's Game of the Year."
So Aaron, can you just recap in the quickest way you know how, just what Bog Weasel is all about in case people don't know?
Well, basically, I had a very emotional experience through Journey, and there was this character with golden robes that took me through the entire game. And as the credits rolled at the end, the name Bogweasel appeared. And I just thought,
That's a shame.
that's what the internet does.
Yeah.
I hope he had a similar moment when he saw Aaron Atmosphere. He thought,
No,
it's a bit
that's
arsey, a bit.
cool. What's it
I
called?
was playing with a girl. He probably thought, a big girl.
My first playthrough had like 20 different names or something. It wasn't quite as.
I had one guy through the whole
You
thing,
did,
and that's
yeah.
why I don't want to play
Do you
it
remember
again.
the name though?
Yeah,
Go on.
Bogweasel. It was Hoju.
It's weird. I had Bogweasel as well.
Captain Wacky.
He just
Oh shit! Is Bogweasel just
He
the
just-
name of the Journey NPC? The NPC.
when you're offline.
The AI character. Right, send in the
That
AI.
would be glorious, isn't it?
There ain't no place like Super Mario Land.
How important are Nintendo to the industry? They're probably the most important
Very.
company. I mean, if
Would you?
Done.
the video game crash happened in '83, right? If Nintendo hadn't come along then to the West when they did, I mean, there would have been video games again, but they'd all be
It's hard to know.
ET
isn't it, where they're-
clones. Instead of Mario clones and Mario Kart clones, we'd have ET clones. You know, the game that crashed the industry. There would just be more of them.
Would you say Nintendo is that important right now, at this second? Like, important?
They could be more important if
Yeah.
they hadn't been so stubborn about
Sure.
so much stuff.
It was only.
But if they were. Sorry.
it was only like a few years ago when Wii and DS were storming the
Yeah,
market.
but that was
and
they were
were
selling. Were they doing anything?
well, like touchscreen technology.
They were bringing-
like, that was
Yeah,
pretty
that's a very,
innovative,
very good point.
Bringing-
movement
Yep.
in games using motion control. It's
Yeah,
a
but
bit of
that-
a gimmick now, but it's
Yeah.
still like moving towards a different approach of how you
Sure.
play games.
But then that's the future. Isn't how you play games. It's how you consume them.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. It's not about how you play them, it's about how you eat them.
No, I mean where you get them from, how you get them, what kind of package you get them in, how much it costs to get them, whether they're small games,
What
big
orifice
games.
you put them in.
Bum,
Hmm.
mostly bum.
Always bum.
Always
Straight
bum.
away. He doesn't even have to think about it. He's a man who knows what he wants. It would be a bleak landscape without Nintendo, but let's travel to that landscape
Oh,
briefly
oh my god,
and then get out before.
we get contaminated.
I mean,
Are we going to use Mac's time traveling machine to get here, or are we just
God
going to
knows.
use
No,
use
he
our
just
imaginations?
he dismantled that time machine when he
dick.
dismantled his feature, Back to the Future.
What a dick.
Yeah, Mac used to travel to the future and review games, and
It was
and now-
remarkable.
And it was it was the best feature. Anyone, just stop talking about how good Ready Game Fire used to be. Here's a new episode for you.
Where would the auction be held? Let's set the scene. Where are we? We're in like Japan.
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's.
What's that? Nintendo Land.
Nintendo. We're in Nintendo. No, because all the servers have shut down.
No,
It's
because
all
then
shut down.
who would be bloody doing the auction? Monita.
Yeah, who else?
The next item for bid is a Star Fox franchise.
But
It'll be really hard to know where you're going.
Please
all
press
the
minus
time.
to skip. You press minus. Here's the skipping tutorial. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Did she win worst character
No.
Who got-
Dallimore was worth
Who got
it.
Nintendo Land again in the,
No one.
in the draw?
the franchise drawing?
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go around the group, and we've each picked franchises ahead of time, and we're gonna discuss where our favourite franchises would end up.
And at the end, we'll hit the big two all together. We'll go through Zelda and Mario.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where you want to see them.
they're the big two, are
Cut
they?
that off.
Interesting.
So yeah, we're gonna.
So we obviously,
Brilliant.
we obviously have different opinions of what the big two are.
First up for auction is Pokemon. Any companies here want to buy Pokemon?
Well,
I do.
I'll have it.
I'm King.com.
Wait, your hands up. What do you want to do?
Candy Crush Pokemon
well,
Saga.
I was thinking, I reckon, this Pokemon game needs to be bigger. It needs to cater for more than just children, because you've got a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people that. And so I was thinking maybe as Level 5 and the Studio Ghibli combination of having that great animation with that Pokemon style that Level 5 did for, was it
Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni. It was very similar to Pokemon,
Yeah,
very
it was.
great game,
A
and
lot
the
less
animation
fun.
was great, and I think that they would make a good fit. Or I just was like Bethesda.
Yeah, those small guys or Juggernaut.
A lot of my ideas end like that as well.
or
Just get Bethesda, make a great RPG.
that's really cool, because
Brilliant.
my favourite bit about Ni no Kuni before I got deathly bored was collecting the little monsters and having them fight, and they did them so well. They created some really memorable little monsters of their own.
Yeah, I
before
think they
even
could
got
take
to
that
it.
franchise, and so Studio Ghibli are like a Japanese company that can write a great story
Yeah.
for the Pokemon
Imagine
franchise.
Studio Ghibli quality animation and story in the Pokemon world. I mean,
hard
that's
to.
unbelievable. Yeah, I know, but yes, put your imagination cap on for a second. Grave of the Fireflies,
I just keep on seeing the Game Boy game.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
in my head.
Before we start, just imagine a 3D Pokemon. I mean, that's the first actual thing that any developer needs to make. Is
No,
a
X
3D
and Y was pretty.
Yeah, but on a big old console,
Yeah,
running around. But then, imagine that art style. Very cool.
I just think it should be that anime style.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, Ni no Kuni's like the best looking game ever. Really.
Yeah, I think
right.
the people in the room who got bored with Ni no Kuni, the problem with that was all the great Ghibli cutscenes. They sort of just stopped, and and I was really loving that. And then for a while, it's just gameplay, and I got burnt out on that. But then again, I'm not a huge JRPG.
They need to keep like the metagame like up to scratch, and they should involve people that are very fond of it, like Smogan.com and all that.
And it's not like they're running out of ideas, Game Freak. I mean, not with that keychain Pokemon, who's a keyring with keys coming.
Keyring with keys.
What's his name?
But would they be all new Pokemon, or would it be taking the old ones and giblifying?
Just the best ones, just Bulbasaur and Squirtle just hanging out.
Yeah, you can have some old ones and some new ones. Why not? Like do that.
They don't seem too hard to make them, do they?
Yeah.
They just smack an animal together with an inanimate object.
What about Trubbish?
Is that a real one?
That's a real Pokemon.
Okay, is that
turtle
and rubbish? Is that turtle and rubbish?
It's just a garbage bag, basically.
Where's the T come from?
Because it's a Pokemon.
Because hello, put a
they
letter in front of the word.
They
It's
can't
always
just
two
call it
things.
rubbish.
So what's
it's just Trubbish.
What is it? Is that a water Pokemon?
It's I think it's like a dark Pokemon or something like that.
What does it look like?
Like it is a bag of rubbish.
It's got to be like a hedgehog
what does
or
he
like
turn
Literally a bag of rubbish.
Like
a
a
bin.
raccoon in it or something.
And then
I
he
don't
turns
know.
into a dumpster.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
Trubbish
if he
into
evolves.
Trumpster.
He might evolve.
Trumpster, Trim.
Recyclon.
Yeah.
That's his
And-
evolved form,
and-
obviously.
Yeah, of course. There's a positive eco
And
message.
his de-evolved form is like landfill, spelt PHIL.
Battlefield.
He
Well,
lives at the Trump.
The
Keep on going.
working titles for Trubbish were Refuso, Crap Bag. Well, the monsters you come across in Ni no Kuni are so Pokemon-y, it's almost... Yes, so Steve, I think I agree with Steve. They are easy to make.
Yeah.
What's that over there? Is that a rabbit? Incorrect. It's a crabbit.
It's a rabbit with a sword.
Yeah, rabbit with a sword. Bam, done.
Crabbit.
That's my...
New feature. Pokemon.
New Pokemon.
Simpsons
Yeah.
Pokemon.
If we went to level 5, because correct me if I'm wrong, because I've not played any Pokemon really since Blue, since when I became a Pokemon master, and I thought, I've done this, hang up my
You
cloak.
are a master,
Nothing left to prove.
You're
You
on the
caught 'em all.
mountain
You
at the
caught
end
'em
of
all.
Golden
All
Sword,
151 originals, and then it's like there's
Why
like
did you get Mew?
Cheat.
Did
off
you
off
bloody cheat?
yeah, because back then all you had to do was yank out the Game Boy Link cable, and then both people could keep the Pokemon. Ta-da! Anyway, that's why I've got 6 Mewtwo's. Anyway, Mew 1 through Mew 6. Anyway, so I don't know this. Does every Pokemon game have all of the Pokemon in?
Yes.
Steve answered first there, but he doesn't actually know
No, Gold and
anything.
Silver definitely didn't.
About Pokemon.
Yeah.
I
I
like
think there might be a way of
the theme
getting
tune.
them all
Which one?
by
Poker Rap.
taking all of the Pokemon into the next generation and then transferring those to the next, to the next, to the next.
Can you connect? What's the
But you cannot.
what we at?
catch all of
Pokemon
them.
Black and White 2.
Pardon?
What's the current one? Black and White 2.
X and Y it came out.
Can you
in
connect that
October.
to the original Game
No,
Boys?
you've got that Pokebank now, where you can store all your online, all Pokemon from Black and White.
Is that where you go if you like?
onto a online cloud, and then you can transfer those onto the X and
Pretty
Y.
good.
It's like $5 a year.
And it's where women can go if they don't have a husband but they want a little poker baby of their own.
Exactly. Yeah.
They go to the poker bank, get some
Yeah.
DNA.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Base
Well,
stuff.
if it was
Base
on PS4, say by level 5,
Level 5.
It would be a PS4
All-
exclusive as well.
Studio in there.
all of the Pokemans would be in one game, and that would be like how many are there?
600 or so, 700 now.
Feels like more.
That would be a PS4 exclusive as well.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my proposal.
All right, Aaron, you've had your turn.
Okay, cool.
So for the Pokemans,
Yeah.
I had a few more obvious ideas.
Ooh.
Uh,
Naughty Dog,
Obvious.
Naughty Dog, and
Naughty
Naughty
Dog,
Dog.
yeah.
no, Blizzard with World of Warcraft, they had like an attached little Pokemon type thing in one of the recent World of Warcraft. But again, that
MMO.
wouldn't- well, I mean, MMO is obviously that's what people have dreamed a lot about playing a Pokemon game MMO, and I think Blizzard would probably be the ones to helm that. But it would lose a lot of its charm because they're quite serious.
They'd really take all the charm out of Jigglypuff.
Yeah,
wouldn't
they couldn't do a Jigglypuff justice.
No.
But then what about PopCap doing a Pokemon game?
PopCap?
Yeah.
Well, it would be on
Plant vs.
mobiles.
Zombies.
See what they can do.
Imagine if it was on all systems, as
Yeah.
PopCap games tend to be, but you could communicate with
Yeah,
every...
trade across everything. So it was kind of more puzzle based, but you could trade all your Pokemon across a PS4 to an iPhone to an Xbox One round to a Wii U. Well, Wii U wouldn't exist anymore.
Sounds amazing.
It sounds like a drastic change.
Yeah, but
but sometimes
are there any examples of them being able to make like these big games?
They make cool characters. They
make cool characters, but big RPGs.
No, that's true. But then maybe it wouldn't be an RPG. Maybe it'd be a spin-off of Pokemon and turn it into something more. Use the characters. You get a lot of games on the iPhone now that are a lot about evolving your monsters through dropping.
Yeah, but
coins.
then you could say we want to
but-
try and. I assume we want to try and stay core to.
I don't know. We want to try new things. This is the point. Is what Nintendo failed. Remember, they're dead.
Yeah,
They
but
must have done something
Pokemon
wrong.
is still a very successful.
But not enough to
video
keep
game.
Nintendo's dead. Not enough. So we need to do something else, don't we?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm too excited about the prospect of a Pokemon game on a next-gen console with Ghibli quality animation. So I've got to go with level 5.
I think Studio 5 get it. Level 5 as well.
Nice. Good. Yeah. Good win.
Mike,
Yeah.
it's all right though. EA don't get to go home empty-handed.
Really? What have I got?
EA Sports can have Wii Sports.
Oh, snapping that up.
Simple, done.
200 million.
Yeah.
Wii Sports to EA.
It's like all Wii football
But we're going to give
becomes
it to
FIFA.
DICE.
Exactly.
We're going to give it to DICE.
In the same vein of EA having Wii Sports, Wii Music goes to Harmonix.
Yes.
Harmonix, yeah.
Nice.
No one else argues. They just
Done.
let Harmonix's Steam to regrettably take it for a $5 and go, I guess we have to do something.
Wii Fit can go to LA Fitness.
Then you gave them
Techno Gym. The next lot is F-Zero. Show your bids.
That's a good one.
Falcon Punch!
F-Zero is a bloody great game series. The reason why I'm explaining what it is now is because we haven't actually seen an F-Zero game since what were made by Sega back in 2003. Well, it came out in 2003.
I thought that was a brilliant game.
It's not my favourite. F-Zero X is my favourite one.
I preferred it to the N64 one.
Well, I guess we're like yin and yang on that one, aren't we?
I guess, yeah.
But it's a futuristic racer, debuted on the SNES.
And how?
And it doesn't feature weapons, but it does feature hover cars like Wipeout.
What was the game that had bikes with weapons?
Extreme G.
That's the one.
And yeah, F-Zero is a futuristic Grand Prix of sorts. The N64 version sort of broke ground of having like 30 races at once, and it was so fast at the time. The final one was developed by Sega, and it was for the
Monkey
GameCube.
Ball guys, AV was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, the Monkey Ball guys, and it was available for GameCube and apparently in the arcade. I say apparently because I've never seen one in real life.
Oh,
you've seen
in
it?
Hastings in my hometown.
Hastings,
Hastings in my hometown. They had the F-Zero, the arcade machine where you could put your memory card in it,
AX.
and then you could get the AX tracks
Man.
That's
and
awesome.
play those. It was
Did you do that?
fantastic. No,
No.
I didn't want to bring
of course
my
he did.
memory card around with me. But
Yeah, and sort of shove it into like a slot that's been stuffed with gum and cigarette butts, and you're like, ruined my memory
But you know
card.
what, the company was cool because it was Namco, Sega, and Nintendo, and they called that like company the Triforce.
Why didn't that
That's
Why didn't that
lovely.
name pop up at the start? Oh, only on the arcade.
Isn't that
Only on
nice?
the arcade. Only on the
Unbelievable.
arcade.
So here's my problem. I was looking in Japan, sort of central London, but Hastings.
Hastings is where
Hastings
it
was
is.
where
Go
it was.
Yeah.
south, mate.
Hastings,
Go
yeah.
south.
Yeah.
So who is
Sega
gonna...
World I went to.
Where was that? That was in
Just
San
listing
Diego.
arcades now, aren't you?
Well, you think it'd be there, wouldn't you? If,
Yeah.
if anywhere, it'd be in
So who is
Trocadero.
bidding?
But we've not-
F-Zero.
But F-Zero had a mini game in Nintendo Land, which no, don't play it. Not good.
Oh, yeah.
But I know what you're thinking. In fact, before the episode, Aaron even said, "How about the Wipeout guys?" No, Aaron, because that's too obvious.
Plus,
Okay,
they've
so-
gone the way of Nintendo as well.
Oh,
Sorry.
and you don't think that you think those guys want to work on another futuristic racing franchise?
Yes.
Give them a break.
Oh.
When did
Okay.
Wipeout 1 come out? Exactly! Years ago. Years ago. They've been doing it for years. Well, definitely almost 2 decades, isn't it?
At 95, isn't it?
Who did that pod racer?
Fucking hell.
The Star Wars pod racer. That was
Great
good.
game. We'll come back to that in a bit.
Yes.
But yeah,
A
so
third bid could enter the fray.
yeah, so a lot of people suggested that to me, but no.
What's he going for?
Turn 10. Now,
Explain.
Turn 10 make Forza
Ah, yes.
Motorsport,
Okay.
and it's the best racing game what I have played recently. It's I've got 3, I've got 4. I don't have Horizon. I've got 5 on the Xbox One, and I'm no racing expert. And it's a really realistic racer, and that kind of goes to show how good it is, because I'm not a fan, and it's good enough that I can get a shitload of fun out of it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did GT5. I mean, that's got a lot of problems with it, I think, and so is the new GT6. But yeah, Turn 10 are masters at what they do, and I'd love to see a company like Turn 10 who can do the realism. You know, they've got brilliantly detailed cockpit views inside the car, and outside, obviously, the with the different liveries and stuff. Imagine if Turn 10 approached F-Zero in like a realistic, simmy kind of way, in that every car you could tweak. Every car's got different nuances, very different handling and things like that. I mean, with 30 plus races on the track, with a competent online infrastructure, I just the very thought of that almost prevented me from
the other half of the game online.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
You have to purchase the X. Wait, they're called F-Zero X still or not? Which one's that?
Are you slagging off Turn 10? I think the Drivatar thing is sort of like a revolutionary way to do AI. Drivatars would be a great addition to F-Zero.
That's pretty interesting.
But I mean,
yeah.
Forza Vista mode is great, and I spend a lot of time in there opening the trunks of my Lambos, etc. I'm a right gearhead, but I love the Fire Stingray more than any real car manufacturer can make, and I would love to just.
Would you like to see brands in F-Zero?
I would just scroll,
Futuristic brands.
open
Captain Falcon Ford.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, I'd spend ages in Forza Vista mode, like checking out the F-Zero cars, because I think they're amazing. And I don't know, I think it'd be a really interesting shake-up to have a racing sim dev approach a game like F-Zero, and
I agree.
whoever approaches F-Zero, that series has been dormant for too long. Like Nick Deering will tell you, why haven't we had a 30-player online F-Zero yet?
Because they can't do 4-player online.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's that.
Let's.
If you're not up for Turn 10, all right.
No,
How about
10's
Lucid
good.
Games? No, Steve, you're not up for Turn 10.
No,
How about Lucid
I
Games?
never would have.
Okay. Who are
Lucid
they?
Games.
I'm glad you've asked. Who are Lucid Games?
Yeah.
Well, Bizarre Creations.
Yeah.
They were a lovely little developer who made games like Project Gotham Racing,
Geometry Wars.
Metropolis Street Racer, and yes, Geometry Wars.
Brilliant.
And Blur, which was a
Never
realistic
played
racer spliced with a sort of a kart racing game. So you are in a Ford Focus, but you'd fire in sort of missiles out the front of it, which was really cool. And unfortunately, Activision disbanded those guys. And a lot of
lead guy go to Sumo.
Yeah, a lot of them have gone all over the place, but Lucid Games is a company that sort of formed with a lot of the Bizarre guys,
Okay.
and I think they could do a really good job of F-Zero as well. You know what I mean?
Good shout.
I
I
like
think Turn 10 is a good shout. But
I
I
think
like.
Turn 10 is strong.
Yeah.
The only rival I could see Turn 10 would be if is it Polyphonic.
Yeah,
Came in and were like,
they'd be too
no,
serious.
we'll double the bill.
Yeah.
Your bid.
Yeah,
But
but
we
then
don't care about money.
could give it to them,
Time.
but
Yeah.
Turn 10 would get it out quicker.
That's true.
Yeah.
There'd be 2 of those
Oh.
F-Zeros. They get F-Zero and F-Zero.
Also, it'd be like, I want to drive the Blood Falcon, but is it one of the high-res cars? It was one of the low-res cars. No, it's not going to
Why don't
them.
we give it to Codemasters, then you can have F01. I made a joke, like F1, but it's F01.
We could bring up Codemasters later.
What for, I wonder?
Anyone else? Anyone else?
No, got nothing else for F-Zero for you.
Aaron, you must know the second most about F-Zero here, though, right?
I really like F-Zero, but I'm not really a racing game fan. And so I don't know a lot of developers that do racing games. So
Criterion. They
Sure.
make an amazing racing game, don't they?
What
They
about
do.
the guys who made...
yeah, but they're
Little
like,
Big Planet
just
Car.
like they'll churn them out
United
every like,
Front.
2 months.
That'd be great.
They do.
We'll
They
get-
do Need for Speed
We'll
now.
get super slow motion cameras of F-Zero cars
Oh,
crashing into
God.
walls and shit.
That would be
You're
great.
getting chased by police cars.
I mean, just
if you want action, you
Space
go to
police.
Criterion. Yeah,
Yeah.
Space Police. Hello.
Space.
A big third party.
police.
I think we've got a contender.
Space police.
Well,
Real damage on an F-Zero ship, for example. I mean, it's just
Oh, we
it's
know.
just
We know this is
it's
guaranteed.
tantalising.
Got to be in it.
Well, who's it going to then, Steve?
Turn 10.
The Forza fellas.
Sold.
Sold!
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
Forza.
Yeah, purchased.
Lovely.
And so then it might be Forza Zero.
This
Yeah.
is- sounds
Forza
like Forza's
Zero.
up for grabs.
Oh, yeah, if they're doing that.
Oh,
Oh,
Nintendo.
Do you want to go in?
Take some big companies.
Do you want to go in on it, Steve?
Yeah.
Back off my Lisa Stansfield trip, and I'm rejuvenated and I'm remixed. I took planes, trains, and automobiles, and for real got ill. In Brazil, I was the Wizard of Oz while on tour, and got war in Singapore, and I'm eating sushi in Japan, but there ain't no place like Super Mario Land.
You go, Steve. Who are you and what do you want?
All right.
What are you
Sailors.
doing? What are you doing?
I've got
Who's
one
with
of,
you?
I've got one of the pillars. 3 pillars.
Is
here.
it of the real pillars or ones you've made up as a pillar?
It's Nintendogs.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
brilliant.
Well, the pillar of the 10 dogs and 10 cats and Nintendogs and cats.
Well, no one talks about 10 cats. They
It happened though. Fucking happened.
Did happen.
Yeah, it made me think that Nintendo Gerbils was going to come out, but it never did. So thanks for that.
Awesome.
Someone different's coming for this one.
Oh yeah.
Someone, they realise all your fancy Dan graphic people don't want. So Bandai have come in.
Right.
They hit on success like never before
Uh huh.
with Tamagotchi.
Oh,
And they're now
okay.
thinking,
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
this
They're
is
now
good.
thinking,
Some research.
yeah.
I like this.
Hold on, so are they making little plastic toys again?
Well, they're gonna, you know, those little dogs that like go and then flip,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
make them, but like cross with Tamagotchi. So you know.
Whoa.
Oh my, this is a match made
So
in
actual
heaven.
real life Nintendogs.
Yeah.
Real-
Robo
But wait
puppy.
a minute. That name would definitely not work anymore though. It'd
What?
have to be something
No,
completely
it's a
different.
Nintendo
It's a
dog.
Nintendog.
Bandai
But
dog.
Nintendo's dead.
Bandog.
Bandog.
Actually, it's,
Bandog. Sounds good.
It's Bandai Namco, isn't it? So sort of giving it to
Nam
Namco.
Bandog.
No, Namco can't have it.
Well, I wouldn't give it to Bandai then because they're the same.
Bandai keeping it hush hush. And Namco know
Interesting,
nothing
though.
about it.
How did the
Well,
game?
the bosses come down to the Bandai wing of the building. I'm sure that's how it is.
So what are you doing down here?
Oh, don't
Nothing
be
but-
behind
nothing
there,
but dog
boss.
push. Nothing
Ooh,
but dog.
can't tell you.
So how's
A lot of kennels.
is there any? What's the game side that you just? How do you feed it? Like a Furby? Has it got some Furby
Do you ever
elements?
play
to it?
Tamagotchi?
Yeah, but
Sorry, you turn the little fluffy dog and he'll have
You've
like a
got a
Tamagotchi
screen.
screen underneath him or
that's
something.
Yeah.
weird. That breaks.
And
the,
you've got to
breaks
get
the
him out.
immersion, though.
You've got to get him out in the middle of the day, like in the middle of your maths lesson,
Shows
because it
him
needs
light.
feeding or it'll die.
Got to show him light.
Did you ever have a Tamagotchi?
Oh yeah, several.
Mine died instantly. I
You
got
had a
bought one.
Tamagotchi?
I got bought one just for banter present.
I got
Band
bought
present.
one. I was holding it for a friend. It's not my Tamagotchi.
Hey, it didn't last. But I don't know. Whatever
I
the
love my
shortest amount of
Tamagotchi.
time they can live for is how long my one survived.
Not shorter than my one. Because
I
I
came
never had
back-
one. Because I never had one.
I had loads. I had so many.
Bet you
So
did.
good.
You all
Oh
over,
my
isn't it?
God.
And Digimon.
Oh, I watched
one of those
Digimon. I never owned a Digimon.
One of them. Well, then who did you battle with?
I battled with my friends from school.
Oh, okay.
Or friend.
Yeah. I was
I
going to
had,
say, how many
yeah.
people at this school had Digimon? Be honest.
Friend.
All of the cheerleaders, all of the football
All
team.
the jocks.
I had Furbies. I like Furbies. I think it sounds like a Furby with a Tamagotchi.
They were shit.
Furbies were amazing. They learnt from
They
each other.
fucking didn't. That's
they
the point.
literally learnt from each other.
No, they didn't.
they
That was...
did.
What did they learn?
If you put,
If you put
it
one of them...
happened. If you put three in a room, they taught each other new words.
Yeah, and if you left
One
them
would
in-
be like, cheese, and the other one would go, cheese, and they'd all start talking about cheese. When he took it away, he'd then say cheese more often than he used to say.
It'd just be gobbledygook, and every time you
freaky.
gullible saps like you heard a similar gobbledygooky word from one, you're like, he taught it that word.
No,
He taught it that word.
Furbies are best.
If you lock two Furbies in a room and just come back like later,
Yeah, one's dead.
They
Shakespeare
evolve.
written.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid Furby.
So Furbies have bought Nintendogs.
Fuck that.
Oh,
Bandai.
Bandai. Cool. I like it.
Band dogs.
And thank God that franchise hasn't died because
Sold.
God knows.
Band 10 dogs.
Sold.
I've got to say as well, I've been around people who were very excited about Nintendogs, played Nintendogs for a short time, and
Yeah.
then neglected their Nintendog.
Yeah.
The Nintendog was a physical thing in the room
Yeah,
that
followed you around.
it would be harder to ignore.
Yeah.
I think more people would quote unquote play it.
Yeah, it's aimed at children. Yeah, I'm not
I
denying that.
I remember.
Well, I think band dogs
It's
can
good.
be a thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
that's sold.
Done.
Sold.
£10.
Next up for auction is Donkey Kong. Boom boody boom boom boodoo. I don't know the song.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't
That was close
any
enough.
song. He
Two.
was doing the Jumanji. So hold on, what are we talking about?
So,
What?
yeah, I mean,
Donkey
this-
Kong is
yeah.
a vague term.
Yeah.
I know.
I
I think we
was-
discussed this, but we've talked about the franchise. Kirby's in there, Wario. They're quite malleable franchises. They're quite loose, so it's what you make of them.
But you specifically said you meant country. Really.
Yeah,
So it could mean anything, but specifically, I'm talking about country.
No,
Yeah. When I think of Donkey Kong, I think of the old proper.
no, none of that. No, that's dead.
Nah,
Dead. It's dead as Nintendo.
useless.
That is. It's dead
Old,
as Nintendo.
old,
It's
too
old.
old.
It's gone.
Boring.
No, it's all about the characters, the wacky array of
Characters.
characters, and it's all about the kind of colourful platforming, but in a jungle.
Funky Kong.
It
So-
is about the unforgettable tale of Cranky Kong.
Cranky's good. Isn't
So my first.
he's playable in the new one, isn't he?
He is really.
Tropical Freeze, is it 4 player?
No,
It's got to be two.
It'd be amazing.
They wouldn't change that, would they?
Played at E3, by the way. Looks gorgeous.
Of course.
It looks.
really want to play it.
I can't
Well,
wait.
you want to play that, but you might want to play these versions of the game first.
Oh, there we
Because
go.
that's not happening. Remember, Nintendo's
Shall I
dead.
save you some time? It's PlayStation by Donkey Kong, and replace Diddy with a big triangle button.
So there's
Naughty Dog, maybe.
there's two people bidding at the
Naughty
table.
Dog,
One of
Crash
them is
Bandicoot.
one of them's Sony, and they want to give us a Naughty Dog.
What a surprise!
No, I've got a better one later, but don't worry. But it's good fit. You don't think about it. So you've got focusing on the cool characters.
Donkey
You got
Kong's a bit like Sully. Isn't
you
he?
get Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong, like the old duo act. Naughty Dog with Last of Us. They're loving the
They
two
could
players
go-
together. They've all got that
They could
character
go a bit
interaction.
darker, couldn't they? Like Last of Us style.
So hold
no,
on, you
still
want to send off Cranky Kong and Donkey Kong
Yeah,
on a
into the
Last of
jungle.
Us
No.
style
You are
No.
zombie killing
No.
harrowing
Well,
journey?
yeah, fight the little claptraps and go off into the jungle. But no,
Oh, there's these brilliant things. I don't know what they call it in Donkey Kong, but they make this noise.
that's a claptrap.
That is a claptrap.
Oh, it's a claptrap.
Yeah.
They are brilliant, aren't they? Yeah.
But imagine that, like Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong 64. So yeah, I'm thinking of like an open world, very jungly, very rich, but also very character-driven Donkey Kong. And also that
They do good jungles. You're right.
yeah, they do good jungles.
Uncharted.
Don't get me
They do
wrong.
good, the best
exactly.
jungles.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Candy Kong, the most overly sexualized monkey
Sexy
ever made.
she
They bring
is.
some character development. So they do Elena Fish with the Uncharted series. They make her a real character.
Didn't
in
like her,
Candy
though.
Kong.
It's gonna
Don't
cut.
like Elena.
No.
Oh my god.
No, I'm a Chloe.
Oh yeah. But they
Do you know, oh yeah, she doesn't care about who we like, Steve.
no, but
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's just silly.
Oh, yeah.
It's silly if you.
The bad girl, the bad girl.
I was gutted when the cameraman died, not her.
Well, Jeff, yeah, I mean, come
They
on.
did Crash Bandicoot, so they do have
I
a
think that's-
platforming.
Yeah.
I
I
think
want
that's the
to
main
take
gist of Mike's argument.
That too,
really.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah, platforming. Great cast of characters. Make it a bit cool. Make it a bit.
Yeah, but then
cool,
Donkey Kong will be running around going, "Whoa, excuse me, Sully,"
Yeah,
or
have,
whatever.
have you seen the cartoon? That's exactly what,
What
it's like.
cartoon?
The Donkey Kong cartoon with him and Diddy
yeah,
and
it's
King
like
K.
a-
Rool.
When was that out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was on
So-
Fox Kids, if I remember.
Yeah, I
Right.
think so. And let's be honest, King K. Rool is better than Lazarevich, so they've already got a better villain to
doubt
do.
about that.
So I think it's a good shout. But
Basically,
How much
what
better would
you've just
Uncharted
said
2
jungles and 2 players.
Jungles, 2 players, old man, young dude, better women.
If you
Perfect
swap,
game.
Dixie and
if you swap
Candy.
Lazarevich and King K. Rool around
Yeah.
for that entire game, Uncharted 2 is so good.
And no one ever commented on the fact that he's a giant crocodile.
Kong!
That final fight
It's a
would be.
giant crocodile.
Oh.
And you have to like run to his shoe as little. Oh, it was a great final boss.
He
battle
goes,
in
he
Donkey
goes,
Kong
he goes,
64.
he goes, Drake! And then throws his crown at you.
Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Do like a twist where Mario's the villain at the end.
Oh, that'd be great.
Bring it back to the old days where he's Jumpman.
Yeah,
and
it'd be amazing.
Oh, a little interesting story for you guys, because you're 2-time IGN UK pub quiz winners.
Sure.
IGN US did their first
I
trivia
saw,
night.
yeah.
That's what it's called over there, trivia
Trivia
night.
night,
Bit
yeah.
weird.
Sounds a bit rubbish.
But no one in the room knew Mario's original name.
Yeah, I saw that. I was surprised.
Ridiculous.
Bad.
I
We
mean,
don't want that.
come on.
Mario. Clues in
There
the
you go.
question.
Jump now, jump on.
Job Mario.
Oh, you don't say Mario?
So Naughty Dog is shouting, "We want it, we want it!" But then
and on the other side, Media Molecule, they're like,
leave
"Oh."
it in. It's Suda51 and his grasshopper team. They want to come and they want to come by.
Suda51?
Yep, they want to come and buy Donkey Kong.
Who's
Wait,
that?
what is he gonna do?
Blatty.
So I call Suda51. I guess it's
Who are they?
Apparently it's 5-1.
Cool, Suda51.
Just in
no
terms
more
of-
heroes. Killer is dead. Killer 7.
Yeah, so Diddy Kong's head is like cut off and it's hanging from Donkey
Lollipop
Kong's face.
Chainsaw. They're wacky, really crazy, quite violent, a little bit overly
Sound horrible.
sexual.
Killer 7.
Killer 7 as well.
Do you
No, but
remember
really stylized, and the characters are so like off the wall that you could take imagine taking Lanky Kong and actually making him this maniacal, twisted weirdo who I don't know keeps people in basements. I'm thinking like they
Swap him
turn
out
it into
for
like a
Annie.
Conker's Bad Fur Day kind of thing. They take Donkey Kong and make it like
That brings me back to what I think,
yeah.
and that would be give it back to Rare.
Give it back to Rare.
Well, sure, yeah, but
Rare's not
Rare's
rare
not
anymore.
I know, but
Rare's
like,
as
give
dead
them a
as
chance
Nintendo.
to be great again.
Who is Rare?
Rare make.
Oh my god.
You mean?
No, who is Rare now?
Yeah, all the original brothers left, and basically what Rare is. Rare now they made the avatars for Xbox, and they do like Connect Sports.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What a
So
sad
not
tale.
what they
Did
once
you
were.
not buy Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I bought the new one.
It's
yeah.
not really
Is it
rare.
good?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
very
them.
good.
It's Double Helix though who did it.
really?
Yeah, Rare are just. It's a shame. I mean, yeah. The
Make
answer
them
to
great
all
again,
the
bring
answer
back
to all,
brothers.
the answer to all of these,
It's
are
all Rare.
reform original Rare and get them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
There we
single
go.
one, right? Yeah.
Done.
That's a lot of mine.
Nice.
Nintendo's Rare can have that if they want.
But no, I thought that it would be quite cool if they had a wacky, like,
Yeah, I think
twisted version.
A mental cell shaded
Yeah.
thing would be
Donkey Kong.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's it going to go to?
Well, basically, before we do that, I just thought in terms of old school Donkey Kong, because I had a feeling Mike wouldn't touch on it.
Why is it weird?
Old school Donkey Kong, you know, the basis for the incredible movie King of Kong.
Yeah.
You've seen the movie, right?
Yeah, love it.
Brilliant.
And you're like, where's Cranky? All the way through, you're going, Cranky better show up in a minute. And then it gets to the end and you went, where's Candy?
he always picks.
Thought I'd be able
Always
to
fights against
bash
Donkey
one
Kong.
out at some
Where's
point during
Chunky
this.
Kong? I'm like,
But the whoever up at Namco Bandai, what made Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus, I'd love them to do what they did with that
Oh, yeah.
for the original
They're
Donkey
cleaning
Kong.
up today, aren't they, Bandai?
I mean,
I want like a sort of
Bandogs.
modernised arcade
Yeah,
version.
I mean,
That would be great. Yeah.
Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus is not only hard to say, but
Hard to play.
we love it because it sort of takes the original
I love it. As well.
framework and
brilliant.
just sort of like Space Invaders Extreme as well, which is
Do
so
they
good.
do that
Who
as
the
well?
fuck made that game?
Can they?
Because that game is amazing. If you've not played Space Invaders
They need to
Extreme,
do it
it's
with all
so
of those.
good.
Like, can we get a Frogger like that as well?
Yeah,
As
I
a
mean,
bar
it
as
would
well?
be. I mean, wouldn't it? Yeah, can you
Just
imagine
shut
Frogger? And
Just
you
mental-
You built up like 1,800 lorries behind you, and,
Yeah.
and you need to get them into the bonus.
By the end, it's just going Dixley. You're basically on like
Yeah.
100 miles per hour motorways. Just
But what we're going to give it to Naughty Dog because they can do jungles well.
do jungles well, and they'll make that
and platforming.
sexy,
Get back to
sexy monkey even sexier. Apparently.
Well, but classier. Still sexy. Still got a bit of charm, but you know.
Well, I
Classy
mean,
lady.
Naughty Dog patter between the Donkey Kong guys would be good because it would flesh out the characters. Because no one's done that outside of that cartoon series. Everyone couldn't stop talking about a minute ago.
Plus,
Brilliant.
Nolan North could probably do a spot on Diddy.
Yeah, oh, he'd be a great Diddy.
It's an ensemble cast as well, and
Yeah.
that's the Uncharted game, so that would be great. Plus, you know, if Diddy gets infected, I'm sure Donkey could shiv him in the fucking face.
Check this out. She's my lady, my pride and joy. Cause to her, I'm a hero, not a toy boy. So I'm climbing mountains, swinging through trees, and even facing killer bees down secret tunnels in dark rooms. Met with a creature from the Blue Lagoon. Folks out there might think that I'm crazy, but I got to rescue Daisy.
Oh, what's up next? Oh, it's Bloody Star Fox.
Dum dum dum. No. Anyway, go on.
Now, next to F-Zero, Star Fox is probably my most beloved Nintendo franchise.
Wow.
That's not Mario or Zelda.
Oh.
No, I mean, but it really is. I mean, Nick Deering will say the same. We're very much together on this. Star Fox 64 / Light Wars is like one of our favourite games of all time.
They're-
And Android's enemy is my enemy.
What the heck?
We still also, for like a Christmas special one year, Aaron and I are going to do our 2-man radio play of Lilac Wars.
Don't ever give up on me, son.
So good.
Father?
Why?
I wanted to tell you an interesting fact about.
Okay.
There's a racer in F-Zero X called James McLeod. Which
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Which is
Fox's
dad.
son.
So there's already a company that have the rights to that.
And he's done F-Zero and stuff.
Oh, God.
I am James McLeod.
Is he going to the same company?
Other like Rare have made a Star Fox game in the past. Namco have made a Star Fox game as well. They made
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
was Salt,
three-
Star
the
Fox
DS
is
one.
Salt.
Yeah,
Salt, yeah.
I think.
God.
But
They just hand that out, don't they? Their franchise.
Crazy.
I've got several devs lined up for Star Fox, and not really one concrete one.
Okay, well, we'll be the judges of that.
So yes, please, if you
we're the
could,
auction masters.
make my decisions for me, guys. Number 1, Platinum Games.
Yep, yep, done. Moving. Sorry, what? Sound good.
But Platinum Games,
Bayonetta and all
they make Bayonetta, they make Anarchy Reigns, they made Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising.
They did that Infinite Space as well on DS.
There you go.
Very stylized. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a very stylistically and a very, very quintessentially Japanese way of presenting their games. But they do big and mental. And I would love to see the Star Fox bosses that they come up with, you know?
The boss they do. There's some bits of Bayonetta where you're riding on the back of a rocket.
Exactly, right.
and That was Star Fox. Yeah, I remember thinking.
I mean, yeah, and Bayonetta 2, again, I played at E3. Bayonetta 2 on Wii U looks astounding. We were saying this a lot the other day, or at least I was repeating myself the other day when we were playing Mario 3D World. It's that the difference between the 360 PS3 and the Wii was the high definition, because that is such a giant leap that once you're in high definition, you know, the Wii U looks really good. Bayonetta 2, when I saw it at E3, it sort of blew me away a bit, and it was her running around on some lizard in a city. But, you know, they could definitely make Star Fox look as incredible as it deserves.
The only problem I'd have is that a lot of the characters in Star Fox, despite their quite caricature styles, are usually quite lovable. Bayonetta struggled to make likeable characters.
Yeah, but they always
Amazing game though, but
But
maybe the
imagine
characters.
peppy hair, naked, with guns.
Yeah, his peppy hair. He was just
He's my favourite one, by the way.
do a barrel roll.
Your father helped me like that too. Yeah, do a barrel roll has also become sort of internet.
Yeah,
type
One of
it
them
into Google
memes,
and then
innit?
Google
Slang.
twirls around.
yeah, so funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Housemarque are
Yes.
next on the list.
Wow, good
And
choice.
they-
Yeah.
Because they are
Superstar Dust.
a lovely group of. Well, hold on, let me paint. I was going to paint a picture from
Yeah.
their humble beginnings
Yeah,
to
paint
now.
it.
Superstar
Paint a
Dust.
picture.
That's cut through
But
the
yeah,
shit.
Super Stardust Delta on the Vita,
And that new one you
and
like,
Resogun,
that's
which
the
is
one.
probably the best launch game out there.
Yeah,
Oh, not if you're Mike Power. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
that was the best one. Yeah,
But then he refuses to buy Peggle 2 because
Was a launch game.
quote, his Xbox budget has been used. end quote.
Yeah, it makes sense. Would this Housemarque Star Fox game be on a 2D plane, or would you?
I
make
think it would have to not be on a 2D plane, but they've showed their chops
Yeah,
for doing not only shooters,
It would look
but
glorious
shooters in
as well, wouldn't
space.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I like
think
that one more than the previous one, and I was very up for the previous one. So
Wow, that's good.
it's
Brilliant.
interesting.
They
He's
have-
got- he's got several.
Oh, I'm scared.
But
where
through
I'll be
all
by
their
then.
games so far, they've had the same female narrator the whole way. Would you keep the woman? She's
no,
narrating.
be replaced
When,
by
like,
Rob
wing
64.
damage,
But
she
she's
could
used-
do wing damage. Yeah.
Because she's been in all of them. Dead Nation.
She,
and-
it's not a deal clincher, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
You don't think so?
okay.
Yeah,
She's,
this
not,
is-
she's
this-
not at the auction, is she?
This is a big money
She's not
maker
there,
for
no.
Oh,
this
did they
company.
do Dead
yeah.
Nation?
Yeah, they did.
They
Dead
did do
Nation as
Dead
well,
Nation,
really
yeah.
good,
I
that
mean,
game.
But can you
everyone, every time people hear Dead Nation, they go, God, that's a great game. Or they say, I want to play more of that. Is anyone up for?
Yeah.
Anyone up? I haven't played much of Dead Nation, so if anyone, I mean, if you want to accept my friend request,
I will.
Aaron, my PlayStation friend request, Aaron, been pending for about a year.
Mine got
Yeah,
accepted.
it's-
Did it?
I'm not sure if mine's been accepted. I haven't
Yeah.
checked.
Probably
Have
not.
you got a PSN?
Yes.
Have you got a PSN?
You know, I'm just not a massive fan of this whole online thing. You know,
Sure, you
I'm
like
a bit of a
Nintendo.
one-player man. And that's
Yeah.
why I
Wow.
love Nintendo's philosophy.
Yes,
Never
exactly.
let anyone
No
go
one's playing
online.
This is why this
Never.
upsets you. This
Yeah.
whole.
Well, they're
premise.
dead now.
Yeah.
They're dead now, yeah.
But if Nintendo put in something like an achievement system, you can choose to ignore it. That's the thing. Anyway,
Brilliant.
So Housemarque, great shout. That's
next I've written BioWare (brackets space).
Yeah.
Next up, Raven, because I've recently been playing the Wolverine game that they made, and I've realised just what incredible games makers
Yes,
they
they
are.
are.
They've got nothing to
Is
do
that-
with flying in space or shooters,
Mention some
but
more
Raven
games.
make great
They do make
games.
great
They
games,
also they help out on.
Which,
like,
which
Mo-
Wolverine did they do?
They did
Unleashed?
the X-Men Origins, the movie tie-in. That's not
Is
really
that the one
related
where you
to.
can launch yourself?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool. I
Really
like
good.
that game.
It's
I
great.
The
really
healing,
like
the
that
healing
game.
thing in that when you
Picked it up recently for
And you
£5.
could get like the classic costume
Yes.
by
Yeah.
fighting yourself.
Unlock it
and
while
stuff.
you're playing as well.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool.
it
yeah.
is great.
I use the classic costume.
yeah, so
all
you
the
Me
way
too.
through, yeah.
it breaks the realism, but
I really think
Yeah,
you like it,
brilliant.
Steve, because it,
What else did they make?
it
other
plays
than-
God of War.
they made,
Well, now they
They-
what was the shooter Raven did?
they did like Singularity or something like that, but they
There
also,
you go.
they helped
There you
out
go.
on the last COD.
Yeah,
They
that's
used to
all
do
they've been
X-Men
doing
Legends
now.
and stuff.
Oh, they did Modern Warfare 3. Bit of that.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
they?
the
yeah.
multiplayer.
That's what they do now. Like
Yeah.
Activision are like,
Yeah.
stop making interesting games. Make COD.
Make
It's
a
like,
bit, make a bit of COD.
Yeah,
do
no
you want-
one.
hey, Bizarre Creations, do you want to help on COD? Not really. Well, you're disbanded then. See you later.
I like Housemarque.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to beat them.
Not finished yet.
Oh god.
Finally, and this is sort of like my main company as well, but Nick Deering agreed. So yeah, this is the first company that I thought of, and Nick Deering says Treasure should get Star Fox. For the love of God, give Treasure Star Fox. And he's not wrong. Treasure make the good shooters like Ikaruga, games like Gunstar Heroes. So they've got the shmup chops. I mean, the only worry there is that
wants to make it into one of those insane shooters.
bullet
that
hell.
You have to be like
Yeah,
mad to play.
It could be a spin-off version of it. You could have Big Old House Mark 1 and have a little side. They can make the minigame within that where you just go fucking nuts. That'd be good.
What do you say?
Make 2 games at once.
Well, they just need to put an expert mode in there, or godly mode or something.
And then it's just a different game.
That would be amazing. Imagine that, a game where the hardest difficulty is made by a completely different company.
Yeah.
Wow.
Impossible to...
So Housemarque then.
Well, can you give it to Housemarque, though, when they're really a poor man's treasure?
Yeah, but can Treasure do a big game?
Can Housemarque do a big game?
I'd be up for like making Star Fox really challenging.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, Star Fox, it was really challenging. Finishing Area 6 with the medal is 200 and... Oh, no, 300.
Is this
Excuse
Lilac
me.
Wars where you...
Star Fox is it's the level before Hard Venom.
So fucking old.
So it's 300, I believe, actually.
I think I got all the medals on the first playthrough, and then you would unlock like people walking around on the ground and multiplayer, right?
Yes, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So, and I remember, you know, getting those medals was tough. And I mean, you know, it's easy for you and I now because we're masters. But Treasure made Sin and Punishment, which is an N64 game, which is so similar to Star Fox. It's kind of like it's almost like a no-brainer.
That makes like that is more of a
People
fit
love
for
that
me.
game, don't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they release a sequel to it on the Wii?
Yeah,
Yeah,
came out on
and
the
it
Wii.
had like a Wii remote.
Yeah,
Like
didn't
control
quite.
Not
stuff.
played it.
I apologise to Nick Deering for ever calling into question Treasure's abilities to do anything. Please don't hate me.
Yeah, Treasure have
It's
it.
too late for
Sure.
that,
I'm
Mike.
sure they
Treasure,
can
I
do
think
anything
Treasure
they
is
want.
I think Treasure have that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they did do Radiant Silvergun as well, which is one of the most sought after Saturn games. It's like Ikaruga, you know, top down.
Yeah.
You know, very good, very hard. I mean,
Cool.
so you know,
I just think that's a no-brainer.
I think Treasure take
agree.
it then.
it really is. And I mean, I think, you know, Treasure
Strong.
from the games in the past where they've had like talking characters and things, they could easily handle like the dialogue between the Star Fox team. I think,
Cool.
you know, and like I said, you know, Housemarque, there would probably be no Housemarque if it wasn't for Treasure. They've been going for such a long time. In fact, they've been going since 1992.
There you go.
So yeah,
10
Well
years
done,
ago.
Treasure.
Yeah.
They got
Dynamite
Star
Heady.
Fox.
Oh my god, they made that game. Have you played Dynamite Heady on the Mega Drive? Yeah, another fucking blisteringly hard game. So we're gonna give it to Treasure or what?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
Agreed. Sold. BioWare.
Bosh.
Second, BioWare Space.
Yeah, because they do space.
They
Hello.
do space.
Yeah.
Yeah, those levels that drive the
Hello.
Mako around. Those are perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
they are good, aren't they?
Steve, what's the second pillar of Nintendo that you're having sold off? Who's going to buy that?
Nintendo's second pillar that I have
Yeah.
in my list.
And who's buying it?
So it's Pikmin.
Pokemon.
Pikmin.
You saying Pokemon?
No, you
What are you
don't.
saying?
It's pronounced Pokemon, Steve.
What are you
No.
saying?
It's pronounced Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. That's Black Books, that is.
Pikmin. Pikmin.
Okay, let's
Holy
skip to
crap.
Steve actually talking now then about Pikmin rather than Mike just
So-
repeating the word Pikmin.
I'm sure you.
Pikmin.
I'm sure you all had hundreds of ideas of who could take Pikmin. Because it's
Sure
just,
did.
Infinity Ward.
Like the internet would go mad if Pikmin became available.
Yeah.
But there's only really one company that can take Pikmin. It's so obvious for them that I don't even say it. So who's next?
Well, I guess Mike or Aaron can go
Yeah,
next.
who's the
Hold
other-
on. Come on, Steve. Who's getting
Rip the
Pikmin?
band-aid off.
Rockstar North have to take it. Obviously.
God.
How can they not?
Yeah.
Of course. Well, that mode in GTA 4.
Firstly, Pikmin. You know, it's a big. I've never actually played Pikmin. by the
No,
way.
really?
When you switch just when you switch characters to Olimar
Yeah.
and it kind of zooms down on him and he's just done having sex with a
yeah.
prostitute
But like
and he goes,
Pikmin-
"I'll see you later, baby."
They're like the worlds they're in are huge. Yeah.
Well, they're quite small.
And like GTA, people make good big worlds, right?
That's very true. They've done loads of those.
So, and if there's one thing, right, that the GTA people know, or Rockstar North, right, it's making games with tiny little fellas that you have to deal with. Lemmings, yeah?
Right, there we go.
It's coming round
yeah,
there.
it's coming round.
Suddenly,
yeah,
you're not so stupid, is he, this Steve Edwards
He's
fella?
right.
DMA.
DMA, yeah.
DMA, yeah. So they make
they were
big
known as
open
DMA
world
design.
games with tiny little
Lemming.
lemming fellas that you got to look after. Pikmin is going to Rockstar North.
I knew
And
when
no one else.
When we
deserved
first
it.
started doing this, like the planning for this episode, I immediately knew that Pikmin would end up with them.
Yeah.
Like I thought,
You got a
feeling,
who are
don't you?
Rockstar going to walk away with?
Well, they're
going to
boss it, aren't they?
Not
Pikmin,
not Donkey Kong.
not the main ones.
Probably not.
It's
Mario.
also good because then, like, the only game that even gets close to GTA's sales figures is Pikmin. So it's good that they'll have both of those now. And that is
You've done your Pikmin research.
the rival COD. They'll have, they can release every other year, they'll have a big sort of killer app, as
Yeah.
you probably call it.
When is Pikmin Online going to be ready?
Yeah. Well, you know,
Rockstar
there
do
won't
it,
be any
put it on
heist
their
missions
website,
on
take
it for a
over.
while, but
There'll be quite a few issues with Rockstar do it, I think, because they're not too good with the online.
But the whole point of Pikmin is that you're repairing a spaceship, right? So if it's made by Rockstar North,
Oh.
can't you just like shoot someone else in the face
wasn't
and jack
there
their spaceship?
a big boring part of GTA 5 where you're looking for some kind of UFO?
No,
It's a side mission. I mean,
no,
It's
it's
in
quite
there,
a lot of
isn't
game.
big boring part.
I never got to it.
Great game.
Well, it's not.
Have you
They're
got
not on the
to
map,
it?
are they?
No, they're not on the map.
So annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
So
I
annoying.
found a part the other
Yeah,
day.
well, this will put Rockstar
I
North
would,
on the map,
I would
Mike.
never stop playing GTA 5.
Well, I don't
if
want to
it-
do that.
If it did like a
Good
Batman Arkham City thing of like letting you find out roughly where they are, and at least giving you a clue to where collectibles were, or
What
let you know how many you
the
picked up.
fuck has this got to do with Pikmin?
The last Pikmin did have 3 playable characters as well, so
It's no brainer,
Perfect,
and
no-brainer.
they've
I can't
snapped
argue
it
with
up.
well,
Snapped
should we,
it up.
is that
Yeah.
sold then?
The
Yeah,
auction
I
house
think
is
that's
erupted.
done.
It's erupted.
it's
Like
done.
people just
Done.
can't believe what just happened.
Lemmings meets GTA with Captain Olimar. Thank you.
Amazing.
Done.
Lot number 93. It's Smash Brothers.
The Pabra fellas, yeah.
The Pabra fellas. So Superbot Entertainment. Oh, those guys who made Pabra. They're leaping. You know, they're putting, waving their hand in the air.
They're like,
Yeah.
Going once, they say. Going twice, they say. But who's that in the corner? Well, it's the Behemoth, makers of Castle Crashers.
Oh, hello.
Because I
They're
thought
too
about
busy
this.
with like making Castle Crashers compatible with Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it's going to take 2 years per system.
and water polo as well.
Oh,
to
my
add to
God.
volleyball.
Yeah, add that little bit of extras.
You
No,
have
I
to have
mean,
someone extra, don't
you know, I thought about who'd want Smash Bros, and I think the new Smash Bros is being developed by Namco. It's being helpful. So you thought maybe
Yeah.
Capcom might want it. Some of the fighting game
No.
guys, but they haven't got the charm or the sense of humor they need to make Smash Brothers. And I was thinking, I think of all the times we have like Castle Crashers fights, 4-on-4 fights, the wacky weapons and all the crazy things going on.
But
It
what
just would
happens
be
when-
amazing?
Mario is like, you know, a couple of inches behind
Yeah.
Donkey Kong. And you can't hit him because
Yeah,
you're...
that's fine. I mean, it's like how people don't like wave dashing. It's like the thing that they the new thing they complain about.
Ledge
Imagine
hanging on.
imagine the Smash Brothers community if
Phase
suddenly added like a
shifting.
depth of feel.
Yeah.
Even if it was a flat 2D game, the art style they use for their games like that and for Binding of Isaac, like that kind of insane, slightly again. I don't know. I
You
like
just
the
wanna-
twisted look at things. I
You
wanna
just
twist
want
things
to
up.
jump and have Chris stuck in the corner
Yeah.
whilst you smack him constantly.
yeah.
Your little technique you developed
Yeah.
on
It
Castle
does happen.
Crashers.
It's just Smash Brothers isn't funny. Like some Nintendo games have got quite a lot of humour, but because they're all blended together, they haven't got a chance.
It's
to be-
funny because of
What
what's
about-
happening.
Yeah,
Is quite
but
ridiculous,
imagine in the
yeah.
background, just like
Hey, Subspace Emissary had some laughs.
yeah.
Has some
I
tears.
think they have the
Had everything.
Yeah.
creativity to make it something a bit different, a bit.
It would
fluid.
certainly be different.
Yeah, but then also because I think what I saw from Castle Crash, they seemed like they kind of wanted to create quite a good, not necessarily a fighting game, but they had like a few combos in there, and you had the spells you could mix up your hitting with your. They kind of wanted to make a game with lots of attacks and stuff, and given these cast of amazing characters.
It's a huge project for them to take
Yes.
on. Can you imagine, like going
Yeah.
from Castle Crashers? Is it just it's just 2 guys, right?
I don't even know. They must.
I
They've
think
got,
it's
they've got
just-
another game coming out that I think is slightly bigger. So they must have gone a
Are
bit
they-
bigger.
I just think you're a bit of an arsehole because it's too much work for
Is
2
it
guys.
going to become a like 2D beat 'em up thing, or is it still Smash Brothers and they've got to make a fighter?
Well, I think
What kind of game is it?
it's. I think it's either you add for Castle Crash's kind of depth kind of thing. So it's still on a stage. You're not like scrolling along. Maybe you'd have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
subspace emissary
But you
type
don't.
thing.
But you wouldn't have it 2D. You'd have it more 3D.
Maybe a little
2.5D.
bit. Maybe kind of like Little Big Planet, just a little bit of room to go back and forth. Not too much. So maybe a few. Maybe shift layers.
That
would-
level with the cat charging after you.
Yeah.
Would be quite a good beat 'em up level.
Exactly.
That'd be
And
quite
you're
good.
trying to fight each other while this giant like Pokemon's coming through. You know. Could
I
be
think
great.
if this were to happen, this weird auction thing
Yeah.
that we're doing here, I think Behemoth would be more likely to do the handheld version, the DS version.
Sure, but I think it'd be the wackier and more fun one. Whereas if Capcom took the...
Bloody Capcom!
Oh,
when did they?
they would, wouldn't they?
Well, I'm just thinking they're great fighters. Great
Great
games, but-
fighters. You know, such long, illustrious history. I'm not calling you out as like a Capcom hater. Just like calling you
Well,
out.
I was that one time. Remember?
Have you got any other? Yeah, that.
No,
the
that's
Capcom
because
bashing
everyone
episode.
else seemed a bit obvious. I didn't think anyone else for Smash Brothers.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the thing. You know, when I was thinking about Star Fox, you just think, like I said,
Who
who
makes-
makes
yeah.
flying games?
Yeah.
And you know, that's
So
one
I
way
thought
to
he
go.
made like a fun
Yeah.
smash 'em up game.
I like
That was-
it.
that
It's
was-
certainly not what I expected you to say.
Mm.
Is that the only company who's
Yeah, they
bidding
wanted-
for them?
Well, I mean, I think everyone was so surprised to see it that Capcom sat down. Even Namco, who made the last one that completely failed on the Wii U because it's going to, they sat down and they just applauded the Behemoth and they stood up, took the certificate of ownership.
I had one brief thought with Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
and that was Sega AM2 because they make
Yeah.
great fighting games. Check out Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter, one of
Check out the
best
Virtua
fighting
Fighter.
games ever.
They're one of the best
Awesome.
fighting games
Oh,
ever.
yes.
Stuart Fenn lost to Nick Deering 99 times in a row at that game.
Not Street Fighter.
No.
Chris!
So we're giving it to Behemoth, obviously, because those are the only guys.
No,
I'm sold. Aaron.
Yeah.
Right. So
So should we do the main one, the best
I'm
one?
gonna be talking about Metroid now.
Yep.
And let me just say that it's like a first-person adventure, 2D side-scrolling action
Yeah.
games at the moment. But like as the game is based on the Alien film, I thought that we should turn this franchise into a survival horror game.
It could be the one thing, the only thing that could restart the survival horror genre.
I have thought that would be a good move for Metroid because it is
The
like,
isolation.
The early Metroid games, like
Yeah.
Super Metroid, is almost, but it's not obviously 'cause it's not scary because all the enemies are so easy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're
it
also
is, you
sort
are
of
just
little-
on your own.
They're little
Yeah.
blob
And
blob
it would,
things.
It would
I
work as
think it
survival
would
horror.
fit just in like
Hmm.
how it was based on sort of Alien and
Mm.
it was like a sci-fi
So you
horror
still-
game. And so I thought the company that would take this on would be Frictional Games.
Frictional
And
games.
they,
Who are they?
Basically, they're the guys that made Amnesia,
Oh
which
wow!
was the PC Steam game,
So is it
The-
staying
the
first
bacon
person?
game.
the bacon game.
The Bacon game.
I can't remember what the strapline is for Amnesia 2, so I just
It's
something to
got
do with
pig
pigs,
in it.
so I just call it the bacon
Machines,
game.
Yeah, but that they didn't make that.
Is
So,
it going to stay first person?
I would say so. Yes.
I love
I'm
and
just
can't
like-
stop playing Metroid Primes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't play more than 5 minutes of Amnesia. So this doesn't sound
Why
like
is that?
very-
Because it was.
Yeah,
Why
but
is
let's
horrible?
think
Because you
about
just
this.
fall
like,
over
you know,
and
you're
Oh, I
because
see it.
it's not like the sci-fi
terrifying.
thing, but like Frictional Games have recently like talked about Soma. Is it Soma? This is a new survival horror game, and it's very sci-fi, and you like looking around like robots and all that. And I just think that they would do a really good job in making Metroid into a sci-fi horror game, and I think that's where it needs to go.
It would
How
be
would
great
they-
as well because like you always have to have a setup part where you lose all your weapons, so you just lose all your weapons and then never get them back, and instead
Yeah.
of a gun, you've just got a flashlight coming out of your
You,
your gun arm.
Would you get all your stuff back?
No,
Right?
I think you still need to like have old elements of you
Sure.
being
'Cause
able
I was-
to
yeah,
pick
I
up.
I
definitely.
mustn't
That-
use my flashlight in this room because General Chief in
Well,
command
ignore
would
our
get
friend.
annoyed
no,
at
no,
me.
Best-
Other
best
end, let's
Metroid
not
game.
talk about that. Maybe give it to those
Remember
guys.
me?
Yeah,
Let's try
well,
Team
yeah.
Ninja.
But how would they fit in the power up where she runs really, really, really fast and then zooms straight up in the air into a survival horror game?
At the end.
It'd be sweet. You could either not include it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Number one.
Well,
yeah.
it's,
Well,
it
you-
hasn't been included.
can you
for
slow down with your crazy
well,
logic
yeah.
there?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, it's not in any of the other.
Well, I
It's
don't
not
know.
in the
Since like a
Prime
bit of
games.
Metroid, Super
Yeah.
Metroid. It
Is it? You didn't complete Super
I did
Metroid.
complete
You
Super
know,
Metroid.
think about this.
Did he? Heck?
You said you
You
did.
could include it. You could
got
just
to the
have
bit where
like
you couldn't carry
vast,
on any further,
big,
so-
massive planets that you go to. You explore space or
Yeah, that's cool.
or whatever. Like
But all of
there's-
like the classic settings of like Metroid, like the sort of icy bit, and the, like Metroid Prime or
Lava
like the
bit.
lava bit. Then if that was all horror, like tinge of horror, it'd be so good. Like,
but you could
it'd
keep-
be so scary.
Yeah. And you
those
could,
games, 'cause
you
they're-
could keep everything the same. You know, the Metroidvania style of gameplay.
Yeah,
it
I
could be the
think
same,
so.
just
Yeah.
terrifying. Aaron, you're a bloody
And
fucking
also just-
genius.
like Metroids are scary even in like
It should be
first
scary.
Metroids.
Scary
Like
and
the actual
difficult.
Metroids are just horrible.
Yeah.
They just like in Metroid Prime.
Imagine
like,
being on a ship, as Samus said.
'Cause
Like,
Metroid Prime-
one Metroid is in the ship, and you have to go through the ship, like
But
avoiding
you
it,
need, yeah.
because you have no power ups or
You
weapons.
need,
or
but you need to
something.
go.
That'd
I
be
imagine you
sweet.
go and find like the
They-
rocket launcher, but,
But
you only get like 4 rockets.
Yeah, I think there should. Yeah, it should be like limited. Like,
Yeah.
you still upgrade powers
Yeah.
and things. You want to still
Yeah,
stick
Progress,
to
yeah,
that
beautiful
that
formula.
philosophy that Metroid has, the Metroidvania
Sure.
style of gameplay.
How do you
But
feel about that? Because it got a bit. I mean, was Metroid first or was Vania first, or they just smash them together later on?
That type of gameplay was
Is
Metroid.
Metroid,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
So-
Castlevania,
Yeah.
the original Castlevania,
Let's just call it
were
Metroid
not
game.
like
Yeah,
that.
then.
that's
We-
why I
we
think it's a bit
discussed this
sad.
on the
Yeah,
Metroid
but you know,
episode.
most people understand Metroidvania.
I
you know,
call it
'cause
Castleroid. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
if you
Great.
could, please.
No, that'd be very cool.
Thank you.
I think it should be turned into a survival horror game,
Do
and
you
I
think
think
those are
one
the
of
guys to do it?
I was toying with the idea of having was it Outlast? There was a game called Outlast.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
out soon on PS4.
Well, yeah, on
it's already
PS
out on
Plus.
PC.
And I played that, and I was a bit disappointed with it. So
Is it not as scary as people say it is?
I think it is. I think like the first 3 hours is terrifying, and then it's kind of uses the same tricks
yeah.
a lot,
okay.
just throughout the game.
What about
Like
It doesn't
like a Goosebumps novel.
an obvious one for
One
this?
Day in Horrorland.
Would surely be the Dead Space fellas as well.
No,
Maybe.
Dead
Stay
Space would
away,
be a
haven't they?
consideration, yeah.
Visceral
but-
Games, I've already got them down for.
But I just-
I've got them down for Yoshi. They're taking over Yoshi's store.
Sweet. But yeah, I
Throwing
just
those
think, I
eggs
think you
or
know, like
follow.
first person, frictional games.
Of all the ideas we've had, this is the only one I actually would like to properly see.
Surprising
happen.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
what about you? You said you liked my ideas earlier on, Steve. You said you liked them.
What about Naughty Dog's Donkey Kong? Naughty Donkey Kong.
But hold
But
on,
this is the only one that like.
Aaron. Who would do the
That
2D?
you'd actually play.
Who would do the handheld versions?
Oh, okay, 2D ones.
I know this is putting you on the spot very, very quickly.
But would Samus speak in them?
Of course
No.
she is. No, of course
No,
she is. She's
I
best
I was
when she
thinking
speaks.
of how you could do the speech. Like you could always have when she talks to people, her suit actually like projects some sort of robotic voice rather than her actually speaking. So you
Interesting.
never really hear how she speaks.
My name is
You know,
Samus.
but you can maybe do that good, but it might not.
Or maybe
work, I'm not
just-
too sure.
Could
Just
Bane
don't let her
voice.
speak.
Yeah. Because all the like big bosses like Kraid and they'd look great if they were like
Ridley's
a
got a
horror
cool voice.
character.
hasn't
Yeah.
he?
We've got to
Sold.
move on.
We've got to move on.
That's
Beautiful.
perfect.
Genius, sold.
one more pillar, yeah.
Yep, the final one.
All right. The final one I have, the final pillar that Mike so appreciates,
Crumbly pillar.
is brain training.
Yep.
Doctor,
Brain training.
what's the name of the doctor?
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa,
Kawasaki.
yeah.
If you said glasses, in the original brain training at the title screen, his glasses go like.
Yeah, and that's
It's
I played
brilliant.
a lot of brain training.
why it's pillar.
That's,
Yeah, that's as simple as
isn't
that.
that why it's so
That's why.
I remember brain training. It made me much smarter. 3 plus red
Exactly.
equals 6 people leaving the house.
And there's only one company could take it on.
The guys who made Smart Ass for PS Vita.
Sporkle is what I've written down.
Come on.
And who was Sporkle, Steve?
Sporkle is this incredible website called sporkle.com. You go to, it's basically just quizzes, hundreds
anything,
upon thousands
anything.
or millions
Quiz
of
on
quizzes of
anything.
everything. And imagine like there was a purpose to it, like in brain training, told you how old you are or
Yeah.
something. 'Cause I'm pretty
How
sure
many
it's
how
on brain
many
training.
episodes of Simpsons you've
Your
watched?
your brain age.
Your quiz age
Your
is
quiz age.
32.
Well,
Exactly.
I like you, but I've got a bet. You've jogged my memory. It should actually be the guys who make Quiz Up on the iPhone.
I had one other one.
Or
It's a
Buzz.
or
Because-
Buzz, the Buzz guys.
Because brain training was a nice idea, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
lowering your
good
brain
idea.
age.
Can I just say, known as brain age in America?
Yeah,
Okay.
if there's one thing that needs something positive like brain age, it's Facebook. So they could maybe come in for it as well.
Facebook.
How many
Like-
times you log on? How many times you like
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
To like
yeah,
something, it's a little
yeah.
puzzle for.
Or I,
Yeah, your
year and year.
your
Yeah.
aunt-in-law has invited you to play brain
Exactly.
age.
I think Facebook could do good things with
Just
it.
every alarm clock on your phone, so every time your alarm went
Yeah.
off, you'd have to
I
solve a
saw.
puzzle.
I was looking up cool alarm clocks the other day, and one of them, was the one you had to had little puzzles.
do little
for your app.
math equations
Yeah, you have to.
and stuff.
But I think who you reckon out of the two of them, Sporkle and Facebook? Like who
I'd give it to the
use
guys who
better?
made Quiz Up. It's like a cool.
It's not an option.
Well, I'm putting forward an option.
I wouldn't want Brain Age requests on Facebook, so yeah, I've got to give it to Sporkle.
Sporkle are great though.
Sporkle are strong, aren't they?
So basically what happened is you didn't get Metroid and there were no other Nintendo franchise you cared about. That was really what happened here, was it?
What?
Steve's come here to have fun, and you're painting him as a negative Nancy.
I've got
mate.
Dr. Mario as well written there.
Who's got Dr.
I
Mario?
just gave that to the Space Chem fellas.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
It's Electronics Industries. Rightly so as well. They need another big game.
Sold to Sporkbook. Oh, what's coming up for bidding now?
Oh.
It's Mario Kart. Pretty much the only reason why I play my 3DS. I love Mario Kart. I'm the best
At this
in
table.
the world.
At this table.
A Mario
probably,
Kart.
In the world at this table.
Well, if anyone's better than Mario Kart, speak now.
Sonny Modi, Nanny.
Shut up, Sonny. Annie.
Okay, he just
She's not.
very good at it.
She's not.
She's very good at Mario Kart.
So yeah, Mario Kart is a kart racer, and it's sort of like the original Mario Kart clone. Now I've got two devs that are sort of equal. I'm equal
Really?
with them. I'm sitting on the fence in between both of their
That's why we're
buildings.
Well, auction masters here will decide for you.
So the first guys are Fire Sprite.
Yes, they did something.
Brackets, they used to be known as Studio Liverpool. They made Wipeout.
No, that's why he gave me a spot.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, you see, it's the sort of reverse of what I've done with
Surely
F-Zero.
they're so different.
Well, this is the thing. I think
For
they
racing games.
They proved their racing chops. Sure. Once
Sony
again,
exclusives are we going to have?
oh, a Sony exclusive of Mario Kart. Fire Sprite have said that they'd be happy to do Wipeout again, but I don't know if they're an exclusive company without looking it up. But racing with weapons as well. I mean, in Fury, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a really good detonator and some other.
They've got a red shell as well.
Some
mate.
battle modes, yeah. And and they've been doing Wipeout since it came out in, as we said, the mid '90s. And I think even if they haven't said anything to Mr. and Mrs. Sony, their bosses, I think they'd quite like the change. And why can't they apply what they've learned with Wipeout to Mario Kart? I think they easily could. On a working online mode.
They've already got 40 ready-made Rainbow Roads.
Exactly.
Every one of their tracks is pretty much Rainbow Road, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a definite change of pace for them, but a challenge I think they'd rise to. And I think they could do well with it. Conversely,
it'd be nice to be able to appreciate the graphics. Because
Well, it's
that's
slow,
what
wouldn't
Wipeout is. Just you just fly past everything. You appreciate it, but you don't see any of it until you watch someone play
Well,
it.
that Mario Kart that just came out with the Wii U before it all died, Nintendo closed their doors. That had a bit of riding on the walls.
Mario
and stuff.
Kart
That's a
8.
bit Wipeout-y.
Mario Kart 8 has anti-gravity in it, and I can't. Oh god.
Can they get rid
See,
of the
once
planes?
again, after Freeze, what am I most looking forward to? Actually, Titanfall, but Mario Kart as well. Oh my god, you guys! Titanfall's so close.
Yeah. Titanfall 2's almost out at this point.
Anywho.
Sorry,
seconds.
yeah, let's not talk about Titanfall.
Who's-
But the other guys, Codemasters / hold on,
Well, what?
/ what's going on there? Supersonic, the original developers of the Micro Machines games, who now make Mashed, who now make Wrecked Revenge Revisited, who basically carried on making the Micro Machine type of game, and Codemasters obviously now make Formula One, Grid. And they also did F1
racing.
but let's not. No, we'll ignore that because I'm getting Codemasters and Supersonic back together.
So
It's reuniting the dream team from the original. I would call it the original party racer. Mario Kart 1, no. 2-player, no thanks. Micro Machines 2, Micro Machines 96. 8-player, exactly. 16-player, 32-player tournaments if you wanted to. But for me, Mashed really is still as good as it gets for local multiplayer racing. It's still the game that people request when they come over to my house. Have you played much of it, Aaron?
Micro Machines.
Mashed was the game that they made for Xbox One and PS2.
No.
It's once again top-down 4-player racing with weapons
It
that
is
time.
So
Brilliant.
would
I'll have to
Mario
get
Kart?
this.
Does Mario Kart be top down?
No, it wouldn't be top-down.
Oh, okay.
No, but
I'd like
I
to
mean,
see that,
It's
though.
a challenge for them.
Maybe the
isn't it?
handheld version.
Codemaster. Yeah, the top. Yeah, exactly.
What, on the map underneath on the second screen.
No, but I mean, yeah, you can actually control it. It's cool. I'd like it.
But Codemasters have obviously, they are almost industry leaders in terms of racing games. They stick to Formula One is, where they flex their sim muscles, and then you've got grid. But Codemasters, I first got to know them through Micro Machines, and I think getting Supersonic and Codemasters back together to work on a new Mario Kart game is sort of mind blowing in its incredibility.
Sounds good.
So, what about those companies, guys? Who do you think it should go to?
Wow, this isn't so clear cut as the.
No, I can't remember the first one now, so I'm going to go with
The Wipeout people,
Yeah.
Mike.
Wipeout people, yeah.
Fire Sprite.
I'm going to go with the second one.
So the first one,
Yeah.
that's what we're going with.
But it's like it's untested, isn't it? These guys, they've been
It's
through a
untested
lot.
for both, though, isn't it?
Codemasters, that's all they do is
Yeah, Cody's got the tech.
It's all,
And,
their best thing is top down, and
Yeah, but
I'm
Cody's
gonna
on.
go with the old Liverpool guys.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them get someone else. I'd like to see them. I mean, Wipeout's so
Ocean.
good. Ocean, interesting.
Bullfrog,
Bullfrog.
Iguana.
Bullfrog, yeah.
Yeah, we can all name Acclaim.
Acclaim,
So
yeah.
let's Probe. Yeah,
Dude, they make.
Okay,
racing
so you,
games.
what do you want,
Infograms.
Steve? You're the auction master. Final decision.
Am I?
Yeah, we both.
Oh, I'm going Studio Liverpool.
There you
I
go.
want
Well,
to see what
Fight Ferrer.
Fire
I want to
Sprite.
see what they can do
Sprite.
with it. No. They have to return.
I
to
agree.
Studio Liverpool.
I think they.
Oh right.
If they want to do it, they have
Wow.
to go back to Liverpool.
I think they deserve it more as well for sticking with Wipeout for as long as they have.
Yeah.
Give them
like-
something else.
Give them something fresh. Give them something new. They want to do it. They have desire.
Give them the most beloved racing game out there.
The levels, the tracks
Arguably.
they make would be incredible.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
god.
so yeah, we all love our Codemasters racing games, but they
Very
don't have
flat.
the track design of a
What about
Studio
what about
Liverpool.
Zone as well? Zone mode.
A zone mode in Mario
Nürburgring.
Kart would be incredible.
They should
Yeah.
do F-Zero.
I'm on Zone 50 on Rainbow
That's
Road.
an interesting one.
That's a great idea.
Sold.
Yes.
To Fire Sprite. Yeah, before we get on to the actual main pillars of Nintendo, just some left off IP I want to roll off here.
Sure.
Excite Bike to Red Links, the developers
Yeah,
of Trials.
nice, yeah.
Kirby to that game company / Media Molecule.
Sure.
I think they do well with that. Like I said earlier on, Yoshi Island / Yoshi Story. Just any Yoshi property to Visceral.
Yeah.
Wave Race. Now, man, there's so many dormant Nintendo IPs that I love more than life itself. Wave Race. Good water in games. I'm always like, oh, check out that water.
Check out GTA
So who
5.
does the best in-game water?
Valve.
Rockstar.
That's why Wave Race is going to Creative Assembly.
There you go.
Yep. Sorry. I mean, well, it has to be.
Could go
Has
to
to
the
be.
guys who made Super Rubber Dub.
No. Who's got the best looking water? Creative Assembly. Okay, so they're going to make the next Wave Race. So
Right.
Total War, Alien Isolation,
Wave Race.
Wave Race
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Who gets pilot wings?
I've also put / any of the race devs we've mentioned today. Somebody please just make it. I'm desperate.
Yep.
Pilot Wings to Firemint. They made that little plane like air traffic control game on
Traffic Planes.
on iOS
Planes.
and it's on
good.
Flight Control.
Flight control.
And it's on PlayStation with the Move as well. So
Pilot
Firemint
Wings.
get Pilot Wings. And of course, Super Princess Peach goes to Artificial Mind and Movement, who are the devs of Wet. Because they know how to make a lady game, a sexy lady game.
Games for ladies.
Not Fat Princess.
So what?
Princess.
They don't get it.
How dare you?
Can Traveller's Tales just make like a Lego Nintendo game?
What kind of a world, by the way, do we live in now where a Lego movie's coming out? It's got Lego Batman in it.
And the Lego game of the Lego.
Glory
Bat-
be.
Voiced by Job.
I
Yeah,
know.
But
I made a huge bad mistake. Isn't it a brilliant world that we live in?
mental. But yeah, Lego Nintendo by Traveller's Tale. That's the
Lego Nintendo.
Lego Nintendo.
Very good. Lego Nintendo.
Mac today wanted Lego Sopranos.
Yeah, he
which is
did.
a
Yeah.
Glorious idea. Lego Wire as well.
At the end, would it just be loads of black bricks sort of building?
Yeah.
or something?
It would be.
Hey, to finish this exciting fictional auction we've had here today, we're obviously going to touch
Fictional.
on the two main biggest Nintendo properties out there. Those, of course, being Ice Climbers And
We play.
Wario! We didn't do Wario.
And
Wario goes to 51.
Tanks. Tanks should go
Tanks,
to.
definitely.
Tanks was great, wasn't
We
it?
play. Where is that? Who's
Oh
gonna
my
get
god.
that?
And those two franchises are, of course, Mario and Zelda. Yeah. So,
Zelda.
who are we going to do? Should
Big
we do,
old-
Should we do Mario first? Fuck
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
Fuck
Mario
you.
first,
Yeah,
Zelda
you're
last.
only the biggest franchise. You go
Yeah,
first.
but Zelda's more fun.
That's why we should finish.
Mario's better.
Yeah, I didn't get very far with this because it's tough because Mario's epitomised by how good a platformer it is, and no one else really does.
That's why
Just
I
give
got
the
the.
guys a Tim Schafer
That would have been smart. No, I went
Like a really cool story and
I've got.
I went to annoy people and said Media Molecule just because of they also do a lot of good stuff with a lot of creativity.
Think it's a bad platformer.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but then maybe this could be the thing.
Back a bit. Say a lot of people do again, but a little bit backer.
A
Backer.
A little bit back
A
up.
little bit backer.
little bit
A little
Chewbacca.
bit backer.
A lot of people do.
I wouldn't say it's a lot of people call it a bad platformer. I don't think it's a bad platformer. I think it's just got it's floaty.
It's too physics.
People say it's
Yeah.
very
where,
floaty.
Like, things
Yeah.
can go
But it's
wrong
never meant
because
to.
of variables.
It's not the challenge is the platforming.
Well,
it's-
that's not a platformer.
Yeah.
Platformer is about like being able to
Yeah.
like play it
Yeah,
perfectly.
react.
But when
and
you get
through it,
I don't know, when you get to bits of Little Big Planet, and you're jumping and you're just timing it right and swinging and letting go at the exact right moment that flings you up into the next bit. Meh. But Mario having this legacy behind them, they've taken control of the flagship title. Maybe that had forced them to not only bring the creativity, the whatever the fuck they do with the next game they do, but also make it a solid platform. Make tighten up a little bit, pay attention to that, and then you merge those two things together. The music, oh my god,
I'll just give it to the guys that made Meat Boy.
I was
Amazing, yeah, good.
I was going to say
Team Meat.
Team Meat. I've got.
See,
written down.
I've got an argument.
Too
with
hard
that.
though.
Yeah, I'd say I
Other
would
than
love
the-
that.
Other than Mario games, it's the only other. Who makes the best games in the world?
Valve.
Just let Valve have a crack at it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just why the fuck
Be
not?
first person, though.
Because my one criticism of Valve is everything's first fucking
Well,
person.
then it
Let's
would be
see what they can do with a third person. My other one was, it's not that stupid. Give it to Crytek and get Crytek to hire all of the current Mario stuff.
God.
So we can
So
just
it's super pretty, but exactly the same.
yeah, because that's all I really want. I want to
Yeah.
play
Yeah, you
Galaxy,
just
but
want
I want it
Mario
to
to
look
be
as good as
Mario.
I want it to
Yeah,
look as good as Crisis 3.
We've said them already, but I was thinking of Naughty Dog for Mario because of the way that Naughty Dog do set pieces.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them do set pieces in the world of Mario,
That'd
in
be
the
interesting,
Mushroom
wouldn't it?
Kingdom. Like, imagine those little spiders that you're running away from. Replace them with Goombas.
Yeah,
Replace them with millions of Goombas, and Mario's running.
This is like Mario's like the only franchise of all the ones we've touched upon that's most problematic because Mario has always pretty much just played perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to give it to someone
And it's
who will
difficult to,
change
like,
it and
a
make.
team that does great 3D games and 2D games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like someone will take it and they'll make it.
Well,
they'll just
other-
make it like if you give it to Naughty Dog, we'll be stuck with bits where Mario is just sort of jumping and getting stuck in the corner and shit. Like
But the other idea I had was a bit simple, but give it to Ubisoft and the guys who make Rayman Legends. That team.
Well, they definitely
Yeah.
do it. They definitely do a great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
that's
it'd
a
be.
good shout.
I don't know where you can find the midpoint. I guess you calm Rayman down a little bit, but keep that just that.
Well, it would be a
style.
game that looks as pretty as Rayman and plays as good as Rayman, but with characters I give a shit
Yeah,
about,
that's
and not
true.
Viking lady.
what? The little blue fella?
Yeah,
runs-
the big blue fella,
big nose.
Globex.
the small
or whatever.
Rayman guy, and the other ones.
Goblox.
The
No,
mushroom
you're exactly
one.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Sticking with 2D, I thought that maybe we could get a really good Mario game from Playdead, who did Limbo. And by that I mean they could do the really dark Majora's Mask 2D
Yeah.
version of Mario. And
Yeah.
when I say dark, I mean you think, wahoo! Mario will clear that. Oh, he's broken his legs on the landing.
To be honest, the only way to do Mario justice is we're just gonna have to get them all. We're gonna have to get
Yeah, take
Gabe
bits of that.
Newell, and we're gonna have to get
I started-
Jonathan Blow.
I
And we're
know,
gonna have to
started
It
get
doing
just
Limbo
needs to be
guy.
an amalgamation of every
Because
best developer.
Yeah,
It
but
is-
still keep that
That's
platform.
the standard Mario has. That
Mhm.
it's just it's the hard. I honestly say give it to Valve because they're the only
They'll do
company I
something
think of
with it,
that have got as good a track record of like
Good
all of
game.
our
Getting
games
it right.
play incredible, don't they? Whereas all these other ones we mentioned is like flaws.
Sure.
Steve said that if we gave it to Naughty Dog, it wouldn't play very well. Well, then why not give it to Sucker Punch, who make games that play very well? I mean, my friend once said to me, Brad Armagon,
Is that
He once said to
infamous
me,
people, by the way? Just
yes,
before
it
we
is
move on.
infamous.
And
Beg
Sly
your pardon,
Cooper.
Steve. Thanks very much.
Sly
Yeah,
Cooper as well.
and makers of the video game based on the hit animated movie Sly Cooper. But yes, my friend once said to me, Brad, he once said, the thing about Mario 64 is it's about getting from A to B in the most stylish way possible.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, it really is, long jumps, wall jumps, it's almost like parkour before parkour actually was a thing. And Sucker Punch make games that play like Dreams.
Give it to Dice and the Mirror's Edge team then.
Sucker Punch understand mechanics though. They can make a game that plays well and feels great when you play it.
Another
And
PS4.
Yeah, they're dominating, aren't
at
they?
the moment you're
You're
talking
right.
about, well, hold on, what?
Give it to Bungie.
What's that game, Operation Overdrive?
Give it to Bungie.
Thing with Nintendo games, and especially games like Mario, outside the RPG series of Mario games, obviously story's not the thing. So, when you think about Mario, you want to think about devs who make games that control really well and feel really great. Well, of course, that was just my basis for picking
That's
Sucker
what I
Punch
would like
then.
to see.
The strongest candidate there is what Aaron mentioned earlier of Tim Schafer, because he makes a damn good story, and he's also made a platformer in Psychonauts, so he has credentials in both areas.
Yeah, but we'd have to fucking give him the money to make it.
How much
Get a
that
Kickstarter sorted.
Exactly.
Broken Age out today on Steam. I might have to get it.
It's a fair few.
Get Jack Black to play the voice of Mario.
God.
Luigi Rigagoo.
Anyway, who are we going with? There's a lot.
Who's I like the most? What did you say?
Valve,
yeah.
just give
Playdead.
Mario a fucking gravity gun.
I like
see what the
Playdead.
fuck he
Well,
does.
I thought of
I
Team
find
Meat
this very
as
difficult
well.
because
It's so
I
difficult.
just cannot imagine.
Yeah, it's the hardest.
Yeah,
Zelda
they can't do it
can.
anymore.
There are many things you could do with big
over.
open world Zelda games,
Nah,
but
it's over.
Mario is. It's so Nintendo.
It's over and it's going to Sucker
scary.
Punch.
It's so core.
Sucker Punch,
It's
yes.
so core.
It's a terrifying thought to take Nintendo.
It's
Mario
done. It's
into
over. It's
Nintendo.
happened, guys. It happened last week.
So
We're going to need a
what's
collaboration.
This is what I started to write with Star Fox, and this is what I've touched on a lot more with Zelda, is the whole collaborative thing. And I think, if we're talking about a dream scenario here, can you imagine jumping mechanics, Sucker Punch, running mechanics, Team Meat, just
Puzzles, braid.
We found the answer. No one can buy it. The Mario franchise dies with Nintendo.
Right, now, fuck that. Someone's having it.
Nope, it's dead. It's gone.
No,
we couldn't decide. We couldn't decide
I'm
here.
saying Valve get it.
No, we couldn't decide.
Why not?
Well,
Mario's dead.
I thought of Valve with almost every game that I thought of,
And that's when they need something.
And I couldn't think of. So
Steambox launch.
Steve's kind of
They are Zelda.
they'll need it for the Steambox launch. Steve's right. They'll need Mario for that Steambox.
Exactly. Get it in.
Nice.
Shit,
Half-Life
it's-
So-
Yeah, a
Mario-
double whammy.
No, Mario's the captain going down with the ship. Him, Miyamoto.
But
Done.
then you can have a
Don't
Gordon,
like this.
But that's all right because Zelda, I reckon we can save,
you can have a
right?
Gordon Freeman Mario crossover. Or no.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Team Meat could definitely make the 2D ones. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. The handheld.
Be hard, though,
It'll
wouldn't
live on iPhones with Team Meat.
So hold on. What we need some sort of conclusion
Mario
for
was-
Mario.
died. No one,
Mike
no one
thinks
can
it should
buy
go down with the ship.
Yeah, go down with the
That's
ship.
a sad sight.
Yep,
Yeah.
go down with the ship. It's a sad world we live in. We've got to deal with harsh times now. It's down with
But
the
it
ship.
seems to be
Oh no,
just
I've got a good way to end the Mario thing.
Okay.
And Mario gets sold to iPhone.
Apple.
Steve Jobs
Yeah.
Facebook.
buys.
So mobile get to
Mobile.
settle the Mario thing, which we're never going to come to a natural
Just-
conclusion.
Goes to mobile.
It goes to mobile.
Countless millions upon millions of endless runners of Mario.
Yep.
Just millions.
Yeah.
got Mushroom
We do
Kingdom
so
Run.
well. We do so well.
There's a Temple Run film coming out.
No.
Yeah, I know.
no,
Mental.
It's just
Sad
about
world we
a
live in.
guy running
Yeah.
in a temple.
From a
The end.
star.
Dream, obviously, it's fucking DreamWorks are doing it.
Still
Nicolas
has a
Cage.
shot to be the greatest game to film adaptation, though. So you know.
Andy Serkis plays the temple.
Yeah.
Mocap, all mocap. Actually, no, I got a better way to end the Mario thing. Every developer out there is required to make a Mario game. So that's a different Mario game from every developer on this planet. If you agree, say nothing. That's what I thought.
Right, Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah.
This one, like I say, it's not as hard as Mario.
Yeah, I think
There's
we've touched
plenty
this
of
before.
company-
There's elements of Zelda games that can be put into any scenario and still be a great Zelda game. Good dungeons, good music, iconic hero.
Who was the people that did the the Wolf game.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down actually.
Altered
Akami.
Beast.
Clover
Akami.
Studios.
Clover,
Akami.
yeah,
Clover
good.
Clover,
Studios, I
they've
think,
already
is a
got
good-
their.
What did they do last though?
And Capcom have made Zelda games in the past.
Yeah,
They're
Minish Cap.
all,
Do-
yeah,
do-
Minish Cap and Seasons. And Oracle
Seasons,
Seasons.
yep.
Don't care
Akami
about
was
that.
brilliant.
It's a good shout.
It would be more tempting to just make them making up a Akami game. But
Well, they
yeah.
could make the Zelda game that's just the wolf, whereas
Yeah.
you just play as
Yeah,
wolf.
so they
And you keep thinking you're going to
With Midna.
transform, but no. Sexy Midna.
Twilight Princess
Pretty
2,
good.
You
Pretty
only
good.
play as Wolf.
Bit obvious though.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I didn't think of that. It's pretty good.
yeah, they're just like that's because the only decent Zelda game that isn't as in the Zelda franchise is that really, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
It's a great Zelda game and it's not a Zelda. That's why Akami stands out.
there's two I was thinking of. You could either have something from Blizzard and have like a Diablo-esque Zelda dungeon crawler.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't
Be
play it,
fun.
but it would
Like
be
Four
really
Swords,
cool.
like Four Swords, but bigger and more
Yeah,
epic.
man, that'd be
Okay,
great.
Yeah, that
Probably,
sounds
like,
quite
played
cool.
better.
Yeah, play a
You
bit
didn't
better.
tap the mouse though. You got to actually like control it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but imagine all the loot and stuff. Anyway, great. But
Does sound good.
my big one was give it to From. Give it to From Studio.
Oh shit!
I've written that down.
Yeah.
That-
It's got to be.
That kind of that Demon Souls and Dark Souls-esque combat.
It would have to
mixed
be
with-
easy though.
No,
It would be a
let,
bit- yeah,
let From make a really hard adult Zelda.
Yeah. No,
Let From try and make a game that's not really difficult to play. That's their challenge.
It'd be harder than Zelda, but maybe not. It'd be difficult, but maybe not quite as punishing as Dark
Unlike
Souls.
that, I think that because the mechanics that they have
So
within those
good.
games are so Zelda-esque,
Yeah.
and I do
And those
agree. Maybe
monsters.
To be honest,
the
I think if you let me play us like Link from Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker
Yeah.
in Dark Souls or
Yeah.
Demon Souls,
Yeah.
I'd be amazing at Demon
Yeah.
Souls because he's so good to control and like
Yeah.
you could parry everything.
Yeah, that's because
roll
when
all
you
the
hold
way.
block as Link, it blocked everything no matter where you're standing, which kind
No,
of
but
makes
even
it
if it was the
elusive.
same kind of that punishment, but just how much quicker he manoeuvres around
Yeah,
and my
sure.
big lumbering.
Would you have like a leveling system in Zelda?
Yeah, you'd add some. It wouldn't be as heavy an RPG. There'd be those
Yeah.
light elements that would
It wouldn't
upgrade
be so
Like
certain
cheap.
stats.
Zelda 2, didn't Zelda 2 have a sort of leveling
A little
type
bit.
thing?
I'm
Well, Skyward
not a
Sword-
Zelda 2 expert.
No.
All I know is that's where the attack came, where you like
Charge up.
you jump,
No,
you land on
Oh,
with your sword first.
And you start getting the Skyward Sword that was trying to put like an inventory, leveling up your weapons kind of thing, but make that a big part of it. Get like bombs that you can attach to the end of your sword, and
Also, no motion control, please.
No, just keep it
none
nice
of
and
that.
simple.
So
A
I
bit-
could,
and imagine how gorgeous it
A
would
bit
be.
of
It'd
a
be very
darker
dark.
world
It'd be
would be
very
good,
dark.
yeah.
Very. It would still
Yeah.
keep some. It would keep some
love the
colourful
isolation
areas.
as well. I like the
Yeah.
isolation in the dark
Yeah,
Demon
yeah.
Souls games, and
But they-
and I'd love for that to be transferred.
could
Like,
replace-
Link gets transported to a world where
Yeah.
there's no one else.
Yeah.
You
But
could
there's some very very colourful bits in Dark Souls, like gardens that you can go
I haven't
to.
played Dark Souls. Actually. I've only played Demon.
I
You could
think that's a
replace
really-
the
that's a cool
those
development.
little messages on the floor
Yeah.
for people with just
navies.
billions of navies everywhere. Yeah.
Hey,
Just run up,
listen,
hey, listen! Boulder coming!
No, God, watch out for the boulder. What boulder?
Shit like that.
Well, I had that down.
That's a hard one to top, really.
Well,
That's
can
a
I
really nice idea.
can I top
Yeah,
it?
try. Yeah, try.
I'm going to top it.
Uh-huh.
Team Eco. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's coming
Yeah.
out
Good one.
2050.
no, but I mean, well, at least let's give them the bosses.
yeah.
Give
I think
them
that's a-
16
shout.
bosses to make, and
I mean,
they-
imagine coming out of Outset Forest or wherever you start in
Oh.
this next Zelda game, and you can see one of the bosses sort of walking around the top of Death Mountain.
Yeah.
And you can
Oh,
go and
God.
fight, and so you come out, you already see this giant beast sort of at the top of the volcano, and then later on you get to fight him, or like you could, if you want, you could travel straight there and fight
It is
him.
hilarious, like
Team Eco made Eco and Shadow of the Colossus.
combining the
obviously.
like because Ico.
Team
obviously-
Eco made Eco, did they, Mike?
They did,
Get
right?
right
And-
out of
and
town.
Do we call it
Team.
Eco or Ico? Because I always call it Ico.
I changed.
Ico,
Today's
yeah.
an Eco
I'm going
day.
with Ico, but yeah, like because Ico obviously is set in like a big castle.
Eco, yeah.
Zelda,
Yeah.
blam.
Yeah.
You basically could run around. Your Link, and it could even add the cop. You could
Gotta
finally have
save,
Zelda
gotta save a
with you.
useless
Yeah.
A
little
little
girl.
bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they just copy the game, but they've got a lot of
Copy.
elements which
Zelda
would
can
work.
do something.
Yeah, Ico's a good one.
That's
Really,
better
really.
than Mike's.
Oh, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think
Oh,
that.
There's not much.
I'll
I
take
love
it.
them, but there's not much game to those
Is it
games.
like
They
another
run.
Sony
play.
exclusive though?
Exactly, another Sony
Another
exclusive.
Not much game
Oh,
I'd love it though. Can you
you've
imagine?
named way more.
Can you imagine
Sony
if
Mario
Mario was
Just
on?
get-
Mario
why,
and
why
Zelda.
doesn't Sony just buy Nintendo IPs?
Sounds like
That's what
Sony-
that's what they've been doing all
Sony
day.
should just buy
Yeah.
Nintendo.
have Microsoft have got
Can you imagine if it was Mario
Microsoft have got
on-
F-Zero though.
I reckon.
That's not-
I reckon.
that's not around it.
I reckon Disney will buy Nintendo. That's the thing we're
Mario,
missing.
Old
Mario
Rare
on
has
Microsoft,
Donkey
Zelda on PlayStation. It was
The end of the
insane.
auction will just be Disney just steps in and just buys everything.
Have
off
you got
everyone.
anything to top those two, Aaron? Because I like, yeah.
Wow.
No, I haven't. Ico is. There is
That's a
something.
good one.
It seems so.
The Dark Souls has that same atmosphere, but it's also.
I prefer the
I
atmosphere.
do like
to
the
Ico games, though.
challenge though. That
Oh.
but then again,
Ico made me
and
feel-
It's not that
stuff
hard.
is Quite,
Ico Eco made me think of Zelda more than Dark Souls.
yes,
Mm.
definitely.
no,
But
I think I'm gonna have to go the Ico
Yeah.
team.
Well, I've also got down here Bethesda though, because a Zelda game built by the Skyrim.
The thing
people,
is, like,
I mean,
for
They're-
me,
yeah.
when I think
Hyrule
of,
could be like a.
but
a
their
hidden part of Tamrion.
dungeons aren't
yeah,
great
when I
in
think
Skyrim,
of
are
Zelda
they?
games, I think of incredible level design, and that's not what I think of in Skyrim.
No,
No.
not
Like
even close.
Dark Souls,
What do you mean? You
Obviously.
go in a
Oh, the
cave.
level design in Dark
and-
Souls is
No, you go in a cave in
phenomenal.
Skyrim.
all of the
And it's a straight
massive-
tunnel.
And there's a cave, and then you can.
You did in the cave.
Smaller.
Oh
And
my
every
god, you have to
single-
like
Okay.
turn the key around to look at the symbols and then
Bum,
put it
bum,
into the
bum.
door.
And the thing
But
about
no, you get to a Zelda chest, it'd be like ba 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 ba. Oh, you got a lockpick it.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you broken it.
Oh, you got a cup. You got 4 cups and a
The thing
bit of
about
string.
sorry.
Well, yeah, Ico. You talk about level. Well, Shadow Colossus' level design is these
Mm.
giant walking fucking bosses.
Yeah, the
That's
bosses
just
are
incredible.
the
Well,
level.
Eco's
I mean,
level
you could
design
have
was amazing.
you could
too.
have levels. You could have temples in Zelda which are like flying around the whole thing. To get on the temple is the
Oh my
first,
God, yeah.
and it's like
Riding well, Epona, of course. That's the thing we're missing here with Epona and
Yeah,
Well, that
aggro.
did Shadows of Colossus.
they did better.
Yeah.
They did better horses.
I think
than Zelda's ever
yours
done.
is a really good idea, but
Mm.
Ico is almost.
I think somewhere in
perfect.
between the two, I think would be a good. If you could put the gameplay.
Nah,
from
we're not
from
we're not
game into-
flaking like we did Mario.
All
Here.
right. But I think that's good. But obviously at this point in time, the Nintendo have closed. Last Guardian's come out. It's the future now, and it was
the best game.
It's the
ever.
fictional.
It
It's the
was-
fictional world. So
it
Last
was-
Guardian's out and it's great.
it's great. The best Zelda
Last
game
Guardian
ever
came
was.
out and it sort of ended the console war and
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah,
sort of joined
it was
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you thought I'd ended the Zelda discussion with Team Eco / Ico, how about a joint production between Team Ico and Santa Monica? Santa Monica could handle the combat
Yeah,
mechanics.
shit, yeah.
So you've got God of War-esque fighting between Link and the Stalfos, and then you've got Team Ico bosses.
I just think
I
that's
mean,
a bit too
see,
button smashy. Really.
Yeah, I think
Someone sounds like he's not
I
very
think
good at it.
Rom and Eco are a better combo there. I think.
All right,
Much I'd love to see.
all right. Rocksteady doing the combat. I mean, what do you want? You've got like 15 mutated Gorons trying to fight you, and if you're Steve, you're just leaping over them, going, "Ooh, am I here? Or is it here? Ooh, here? Ooh, counter? Oh, I don't think I will. I'm Steve. I just jump." And then like, well, he's not doing it right, and then he's bloody getting all the combo challenges.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Steve.
Too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I nah. Nah, I just give it to Ico. Team Ico.
Off Rom,
They can just improve their combat slowly. That's what they can do.
slightly.
Ja, ja, with a stick. Ja.
For Shadow of the Colossus, I still love that grab mechanic in that game.
Yeah.
Shadow, I just think it's brilliant. I don't know, something about jumping in that game feels so epic when you just leap and just go for grab and you just
Eco
last minute.
in
Shadow, yeah, Shadow.
Yeah, well, everything in that game is epic.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I mean, I think, oh my god, this is annoying now though, because I want to see some of these games
Course,
we've just
yeah.
spoken about, but
Yeah, let's have
Cannot
faith
be.
in.
Let's come back to reality. It's been good auction there.
So Zelda's gone to
sorry,
Team
yeah.
Ico, yeah?
it would be amazing to see
That would
some of
be
these
great.
games.
I really
No,
do like the Dark Souls
yeah.
thing. I think that is a good vote, but
For me, it's just I much prefer
To enjoy it.
Team Ico.
Yeah, I'd much
games.
prefer to enjoy playing
It'd be
Zelda
nice to
rather than
play
hate
a big
myself.
sort
Yeah.
of, it made me think, but yeah, not just like, there's a
And then
Stalfos
we
over
wouldn't
there.
get sick of them
I
because
like
it's like
fighting Stalfos. I just don't want
They'd
to run away
be
from
in
every
Dark Souls. They'd be stealth.
Yeah, but they'd be really hard. They'd be rolling at me and then like they do in.
Yeah, you'd have to die 50 times before you learn their attack pattern. That's standard.
we wouldn't get bored of Zelda games as well, because if Team Ico had them, then it would be like
Really staggered. Yeah,
every
very staggered
every
approach to
7
it.
years.
Exactly.
So that's sold, and that's the all of Nintendo's IPs
Gone.
sold.
Close the doors.
wait, Ice Climbers,
Ice Climbers.
Fire Emblem.
Oh, we missed Fire Emblem and Advance Wars.
Oh,
Oh God! And
Says
who's
makers of
getting
XCOM.
Paper Bloody Mario? The intelligent system should just go off on their own.
Yeah.
with Mario games.
Punch Out needs to become around in Wii Sports, and EA
Fight
can
Night.
take care of that.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fighting King Hippo with the Fight Night physics. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Sensational stuff.
Don't go away. Pikachu's jukebox is next.
And that was episode 52 of the RGF Podcast. Remember, as I said earlier on, if you like what we do, please support us. The best way you can do that is on iTunes by rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Our podcasts are on YouTube as well. Please comment, like, and subscribe. If you want to reach us, Twitter or Facebook, it's Ready Game Fire, and our email address is contact@readygamefire.co.uk. Thanks to the mini bosses for continuing to supply the soundtrack for Ready Game Fire. It's goodbye from me, Chris Fox. Goodbye. Goodbye from Aaron.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Mike.
Mario's dead.
And goodbye from Steve. Jesus.
That is heavy. Goodbye.
Jesus is dead as well, by the way.
No, he's not.
I could have swore you were going to say going, gone.
Oh,
to say
shit.
goodbye.
Why don't you just say it? If you thought of it,
I
you
just
say it.
have. Goodbye.
Yay.
We'll see you on the next podcast. Ready Game Fire.
Ready game sold. Woo, bye.
Pokemon Go, go!
So you want to be a Pokemon master?
I got to be the one, the only one who can withstand the test and be the best. Got to strive, keep up the drive, be a master. It takes a certain kind of skill, and I won't stop until 150 Pokemon are mine. I must define the art of capture.